Good evening, legends. Welcome to the Magpie Army Chronicles extravaganza. We will be previewing the big game on Sunday between the Pies and the Weagles. I do apologise. I made a last-minute change in schedule for this show. I advertised it for Saturday night. But I then realised there were the teams were the finalised teams were named today, and I thought I really need to get it out tonight because tomorrow night I might have something on. So we're going on tonight. Hopefully no one's missed out. Good day, official burner. Never seen you before, but welcome. How's everyone going? Stephanos, Chrissy Talbot. Good day, everyone. The teams have been named. They're the final teams out there. I'll start with the outs. Jezza Howe out for the season. Pendles rested. Geordie, not sure what's going on there. The chat will probably help us out with whatever injury that is. Good day, Maddie, in the chat. Lipa, I think that's a 2-3 weeker. And Pezza did his hammy. So all our outs are forced outs, injury. So don't know what to feel about this one. Although it's a depleted side, I'm starting to get a bit excited about it, actually. A lot of young kids out there. That's 10 players. We've got 10 players with under 30 games under their belt playing this game. And it's good. It's going to be good to see youngsters like Ed Allen, Swads, and Will Hayes playing in their home state. So that'll be good as well. Hopefully that gives them some motivation to shine. Okay. I reckon, and the ins. So we've got Swads. That was a no-brainer. We've got Will Hayes did his shoulder earlier in the year when he was buzzing about, but he's back in. We've got Sully. Sully, that's a weird one. That one with Sully. He deserves the game. He's been, he's carrying the kids in the VFL, playing very well. Probably playing for his career here. You never know. He'll be inspired to put in a great game because let's say he plays a good game in this one and then the next two, we're going to have to make a big call, Maybe we give him one more year. Who knows? And also Hayes and Rowan Steele come back in, gives us a bit of speed, which is good. And Noah Howes, congratulations, Noah Howes, first game. Well done. It will be exciting to see him as well. We've been watching him in the Rezzies. All of us here on the Magpie Army Chronicles and people on the Warble as well, we were calling for Howes to be played as a defender from the preseason, but he wasn't. And we only started playing him as a defender after Moore went down early in the season. And lo and behold, here he is. He's making his debut. So exciting times for him. Hopefully he doesn't get too overawed and see how he goes. Okay, emergencies. We're gonna have a lot to say about this guy, Jacob Ryan. Jacob Ryan in a squad which is missing Howie, Moore, Pezza, and Braz. You would think Ryan, who has been consistently getting a shitload of the ball in the twos, and at 80% disposal efficiency as well, you would think he would have had a look in. But it just seems that the coaching panel probably don't rate him, and it's kind of sad, really. My colleague on the panel, who I'll introduce very soon, is a big advocate for him. It's a weird one with Ryan. 4 years in the twos, been playing pretty much the same position, probably had some time on the wing as well, but most of the time in that back pocket. and yeah, just can't get a look in. And then you got Parker, and Parker, I understand, his disposal can be erratic. Another one, like I like him. I like Parker, and I reckon with Parker, you give him, you know, a whole bunch of games. I reckon he'll be all right. He's had a couple of good games in the ones last year, and even this season. Look, from what I recall, I could be wrong. Parker's the game he played before he got dropped. I reckon he played an okay game from memory. I could be wrong, but I reckon he played an okay game, and then we dropped him, and he's just hasn't been able to get have a look in. But he's an emergency. You never know what's going to happen there. Harry Di Mattia, another emergency. It'll be interesting to see who the carryovers are and who's going to play in the VFL tomorrow. Okay, having said all that, I introduce my esteemed colleague on the panel, Sean Ultimate Greatness. How are you, mate?
Yeah, doing all right, Mick. Yeah, should we start a hashtag of free Jacob Ryan?
Yeah,
I can't remember the whatever that hashtag is, but yeah, we need to get him out of the VFL and get him into the seniors. Even if it is for just a handful of games, because I just don't subscribe to the fact of a guy like a Ryan to be treated the way that he has, because it's just I don't know. People might laugh at this, but it's to me, it's basically workplace bullying at its absolute finest. So
mm,
um you know, so basically for the whole entire time he's been here, he's only been worth one game where he got concussed in a half a quarter of football, and at at no point was he good enough to get a string of games at any points since that first game. So it just makes no sense. Yeah, the management from the club needs to be far better than what it currently is, and um, I know we can sort of sit here and assume, oh, but Ryan could be a terrible player, and I still don't think that holds water, because even if he is a terrible player, like he's been showing enough in the VFL where he deserves an opportunity to fail.
yeah.
And if anyone doesn't agree with that, like, um, yeah, I don't even know what to say to that, to be honest, because yeah, we have literally had positions open up. We've had guys that are out of the side. We know with someone like Sully, he's probably not going to be on the list next year.
Mm.
I'm sure they might do a thing where maybe they give him a 1 year deal because he'd be like a cheap as chips player, maybe. But um, yeah, we're definitely going to need a um, yeah. I mean, like, I guess at the end of the day, when it comes to Ryan, I just don't think it's right to have a guy play as well as he has and to not at least get a taste of it, or at least not get a genuine crack at it.
Yeah.
Um,
Mm.
it's just not right.
Yeah. Um, Backstage earlier, Sean, you made a comment to me a couple of years ago. We gave games to fringe players like Bytel, and I can't remember the other one, but we gave them a shot in the ones to see how what they were made of, and obviously
Yep.
they weren't good enough. That was obvious. But they were given opportunities without ripping it up in the VFL, whereas Ryan has consistently gotten, I reckon he's consistently gotten 25 plus in the VFL, yeah, consistently at 80% disposal efficiency. Um, Surely that's enough when where the backline is losing players like Pezza and Braz and similar height to him, plays
Yep.
a similar role to him.
Hmm.
And the best he can get is an emergency. So yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
Mm.
Um, yeah. I mean, even if you want to look at some comparisons, I'm not. I just want to preface by saying this because there will be some people out there that will look at the specifics of it. I'm just saying from a pure talent point of view, because obviously they're going to be playing different positions.
Yeah.
Yeah, you look at a Jack Bytel, you look at a Charlie Dean, you look at these types of players, is Jacob Ryan in that conversation? Because if he's in that conversation in terms of that level of talent, well, yeah, he should be getting a crack at it. Even Charlie Dean got 2 games in last season, and he had the opportunity to fail. So and I think that's probably the key word to it. And I know people can obviously jump in and sort of just be like, oh well, why are we picking players so that they can just fail? It's like, but if you look at our team, there was a spot that was opened up. Like I feel like we've also picked 1 to 2 many forwards as well. You look at Sully; he's a bit of a half forward, pressure forward. You look at Hayes; he's been playing forward. Rone Steele should be on the wing, but he could even be a little bit of a forward, maybe even a defender. So it sort of feels like we needed a Jacob Ryan. Like I don't think which probably means we're probably going to have someone that's either playing forward or mid that's going to probably play some defense, whether if that's Crisp or whoever. It's clear that they're going to be moving the magnets around if they're going to have a balanced side. It's just I just can't accept the fact that we're not even giving Ryan the opportunity to fail. Because we gave it to Charlie Dean and Jack Bytel and others, but we're not giving it to Ryan. Why?
Exactly.
I feel like we deserve that answer.
Yeah. I just want to highlight this comment by Matthew. If Ryan comes in, it will embarrass Houston and the selection committee. That's why he's not being played. I had a conversation with Rocco from the Jumper Punch, and we were talking about selection integrity and how Josh Fraser is big on that. And they've got a player on big bucks languishing in the VFL, Zach Williams. Dan Houston is our Zach Williams. Yeah. Fraser dropped him, and he hasn't even had a look in yet because Fraser put in a kid like Billy Wilson. I can't remember what name he brought up, and the kid's been doing well. And Rocco said to me, he couldn't see that. He couldn't see Billy Wilson doing well in the ones, but he is, and now he's undroppable. So there you go, man. It's a tale of 2 teams, man. Houston, I don't know, man. Like, if someone tells me he's had a fantastic season, what do you want me to say, man? I'll have to disagree with you respectfully. But
also, the other thing, can we also acknowledge the fact that halfback is not really that hard of a position to play? I know it's still AFL, so don't get me wrong. But if you're to compare all the positions, halfback is probably the easiest position out of all positions, regardless on like the level of football. And I mean, it's certainly not half forward. You could argue it's probably the most demanding. Because even if you're a key position player, at least you have the height. Like if you play key position, it's a given that you're going to have a bit of height and you're going to have a bit of muscle on your frame. But if you're going to play halfback, like you're basically like halfbacks are defenders that aren't defenders. And then they're attacking with the ball, so it's fun to be a halfback because you got ball in hand, you're kicking the ball, you've got this fun, aggressive, exciting, style of play. Like there's, it's sort of like halfback is like, the to just switch it over to cricket, like halfback is basically like the 2020 of like cricket formats, so it's like it's fun, exciting, it's like a low attention span type of like role. So just even see. I mean, and also as well, how many times have clubs? I mean, even we have gone to the mid-season draft. We picked up a John Noble, and he was our halfback for how long? And we picked him up in the mid-season draft. And and you can say what you will about him and everything like that, but halfbacks are not really a position where you should put all of your money into when it comes to the salary cap.
We gave away. Look, even Shooter. As much as I as much as you admire Shooter for his pressure and, we gave up too much for him. What do we give? A first rounder and a second rounder. Mate, you do that for gun mids or a gun tall defender or something like that. A forward pocket. And did we really need Shooter? Seriously, yeah. That was a surprise and I'm not complaining about his output because I've been very happy with him, but we did give up a lot for him, man. And Houston the same, man. The output for what we've given up is nowhere near there, mate.
I will just touch on the comment with like Paddy and stuff. I will die on this hill. Jacob Ryan's a better player than Dan Houston, and I know that that's going to be very hard for people to hear, and it's going to be an extremely hot take. But Jacob Ryan is a better player than Dan Houston, and would add more value to this football team right now than what Dan Houston's currently providing. So
look, I would have to respectfully disagree with you there, Shawnee. I reckon Houston is better than Ryan, but something's not right.
In terms of what
he's
dishing up currently, I would.
No. Yeah, exactly. He's not dishing it up currently, but at his best, we know what Houston can do, and it's just been a bugbear with us. He's just not fucking giving us what we wanted. Who's this? Sean Bathman saying we've got no idea. No worries, man. Everyone's got their opinion, Sean.
As long as we
respectfully express our opinions, all good, man. That's all. We know. Look, we're not saying. Look, I am not saying that Ryan is better than Houston. I'm not saying that, but Houston's output. Yeah, there you go. See, this is what happens, guys. People can disagree and not fucking go nuts at each other and say that they've got no idea. Everyone's got their opinion, man. No problem.
Yeah.
That's it. It's been 2 years. 2 years on the list with Houston. And he's gone from All-Australian halfback distributor, fucking all gun. And what have we got? How many fucking massive games has he played for us? Yeah. How many contests has he shirked? How many fucking passes has he fucking shanked? Come on, man. Tell me, are you guys satisfied with his output? Are you happy with it? Fair enough. I'm not gonna. That's your opinion, man. I can't say anything, but there you go.
The one quarter argument, love it. Yeah. But even though Houston's played many games, and again, even at Port, I will say this, he did play very well at Port. There's a reason why he was an All-Australian, or he's a back-to-back All-Australian. But with what he's dished up at Collingwood, especially this year, he doesn't even have the tank to even get the handball received consistently. So, and the fact that Ryan has taken out multiple 2K time trials, yeah, that should be your answer in terms of who has a better tank.
Yeah. During the week I made a few overtures to some West Coast supporters. I just want to. It would be great if one of you are listening, or if you want to come on, feel free. We can go through the teams. We can have a bit of banter. There's been one guy, Liam from the Jumper Punch. His father is a West Coast fan. Forgot his name, but if you're listening, mate, come on. The link is at the top of the chat, and love to talk to you about your team. Give us a better insight as to who we're coming up against on Sunday. A couple of other guys too. I sent some messages to. We've got this guy. What's his name? Jesse from. What's his channel? Jesse
from True Footy.
True, yeah, that's the one. And then there's another bloke as well. Anyway, I sent overtures to them, and let's see if they jump on. Yeah. All right. I've got someone backstage. I'll get him on. All right. We all know who he is. I reckon he's pissed off because we've been bagging Houston. I want to see what he says. There he is. Black and White United's own Andreas. How are you, pal?
What's going on, mate? I need to apologise to you, though. I have been meaning to jump onto your shows over the past couple of weeks. It's just been like a bit full on with my shit and then work and stuff like that. But I have been meaning to jump on, so I do apologise.
No worries, pal. No worries. What's up, mate?
Happening? Oh, same
Nothing
shit.
much, man.
Different day, mate. Just paying the fucking bills. That's it.
That's it,
Absolutely.
man. Now, yeah, a depleted side, but I said earlier, man, I'm a little bit excited about this too, man.
Well, they can't use the argument about us being too old for this game because I think we've got one of the youngest profiles in the whole competition going into this game, and I think that's even with Sidebottom in the team. So I think some of the old pundits on SEN can stick that one where the sun don't shine, because if we get a win against a very young West Coast side who's extremely quick, with an undermanned side playing debutants and stuff and players who don't usually get games, I think that's pretty fucking good just quietly.
Yeah. Okay. Have you got a kind of like a prediction or a tip for this game? And while I say that, Andreas, in the chat, get your tips and predictions in. I've only got mine and Void so far. Get them in, guys, and we'll put them in the vault, and we'll see if you guys know your footy or if he's a full of shit. There's Manny in the chat.
I reckon we've got this game. I'm going to say about 3 goals. I reckon we should win by about 3 goals.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm just worried about their pace. Even though we've got some like kids in fairly quick and stuff, I do worry about their pace, especially at the middle with Dersma and Reed. So I don't think the pace of Reed's too good, but his ability to get the ball first hands on it and feed it out, and then someone like a Dersma will fly off. But I'll put this one to you. Who does Allen go on? Does Allen go and shut down Reed? Does Allen go and shut down Dersma? Like, what does he do in this game?
I'd love to see one.
Say something? I think they said they had a plan for Reed. So maybe Allen might go to Reed.
But having said that, I would love Allen not to have a job, and just to fly,
100%.
just be himself, and just be a mid, and just to be side by side with Nick, and give Ned Long the job on Reed or someone else, because that would be Ed Allen's kind of next step, just to fucking dominate a game without having to. His main priority having to nullify someone. I'd love to see that. Yeah,
I'm just trying to get some stats up, just so to pinpoint a few players while this thing fucking loads. I swear my Telstra internet for Telstra is so bad, like it's doing my head in. Something vicious.
While you're there, I just want to Manny Costa. All right, listen, pal. I'm going to be in Adelaide in late September after the grand final. I've got to meet up with you, brother. We're going to catch up, mate. Make sure you're in Adelaide in late September, mate. Got to catch up with you, mate.
All right, so I'm just going to put this up because I've come here for not a debate but a civilized discussion.
Come on, let's go.
I fucking can't stand some of the shit that you guys are spitting out, and I say that so respectfully.
Go.
But I just wanted to put this out there. If you look at Houston's stats, right now, I'm gonna have a disclaimer first before you guys rebut anything. Is he having as much impact as we thought that he should be having? No, I agree with you guys 110% on that. Yep. Is his defensive efforts up to scratch? No, but the caveat to that is he's also not a key defender. He's a running defender. Okay, he's an offensive defender. All right, he's not a key back like Frampton and stuff like that is. Okay.
Yep.
Now, before I do that too, I agree 110% that Jacob Ryan should be playing in this game. I went to training, the main session on Thursday, and I saw him train, and he was one of the best ones at training. For a training that wasn't very like upbeat, they weren't like it wasn't like grand final week training where everyone's up and about. It was a bit subdued. I feel like they're running through the motions a fair bit. Jacob Ryan was the best out of the lot. And I'll tell you what, Rowan Steele was pretty good too. So I wasn't surprised with his selection. I don't agree with it, but I'm not surprised by it. Okay. Now, with Jacob Ryan, the only reason why I don't think that he's playing is because we have the running defenders. We have Houston, we have Josh, we have Puncher, and House comes in for extra height. Okay. And to be fair, I think House will probably have a little bit more of an aerial impact as opposed to a Jacob Ryan. All right. With that being said, you can't deny Jacob Ryan's run and the stats that he's bringing up in the twos consistently. And the same argument goes for Sullivan in the fact that he's performing every single week. Right.
He is. Yeah.
The only selections that I don't agree with Sullivan is that Rowan Steele's coming in and you're also bringing in Sullivan. I think it's too much of a like for like, especially when you've got Crisp, especially when you've got Side Bottom still in, Swadling's in. It's sort of the same at the same, if that makes sense. Albeit, I think Swadling's probably the best out of a lot of them. With Houston's stats, if you look at his stats and you go on the internet, and I say this in almost all my videos, I'm not a stats man. I don't talk about stats. I talk about the feel of the game, what we observe, what we see. I'll go into stats if I need to, but I'm looking at all his stats here on the net, and every single one of them for season versus career average, he is above average in every single one. He is matching his 23 and 24 years. The part that we need to understand with him now, and I said, I agree, he needs to get better defense.
Disposals? Is it just disposals, or is it like hitting targets?
Disposals, so it kicks, handballs, marks, tackles, meters gained. It's got one here for fantasy points, but I don't really worry too much about that shit, right? The thing that he's still averaging the same amount that he was back then. The problem that we have is that we are a much better team than Port Adelaide. We have better defenders than what Port Adelaide have. We have a better midfield than what Port Adelaide did at the time. Even though they were making finals, doing whatever, we were still beating them back then too. Okay? So he was a good player, shining amongst a shit team. Okay? Now he's a good player who, he's playing, I wouldn't even say he's playing averagely. He's just not affecting the play as much as what he did at Port Adelaide. But he's still racking up the disposals. His turnovers, right? He might have one or two a game now, right? But he's affecting the play moving forward better when ball is in hand. And I just think we've got to just take a bit of a breather on it. We are expecting the Dan Houston that we picked up because of what we sold him, because of what we got rid of to get him in, right? And I get that totally. And if it's a slow burn, it's a slow burn. The other stat is that's come up, which I think David King said, or whatever, is that, and I've noticed too, whenever we are depleted in the back line, right, he has a good game.
Okay.
His role at Port Adelaide would have been the running halfback. It would have been the intercept marker. It would have been half the time playing as a half forward, getting the ball, bombing it long into the thing, pushing up forward. Here, right, we've got more defenders. So his role is specific to do this one type of play. And that's just be the link in the chain. Okay? And we can see it. How many times he's got the ball from receiving handball, kicking it long. Gold Coast, he did it perfectly. The kick out to him, the kick to Anderson, where Anderson scored against North Melbourne. He was the link in the chain with the handballs for the first goal, for a few other goals and stuff. He does turn the ball over a fair bit, though. Okay? So that's probably one area of his game where, you'd rather you'd rather him fix. But if he's turning the ball over, getting the ball from the wing, receiving the ball, and peeling off his men and drilling it into the forward line, and this is obviously when McStay was playing a bit shit before he started playing good. If he was drilling the ball into the forward line and it was getting marked by the opposition, well, that's not his fault if he's kicked it out to a one-on-one. That's the forward's fault. You know what I mean? Like there's that part of it too that we need to sort of be a bit understanding on. What I want to see from Houston, and this is what I think everybody else should be talking about when it comes to him, right? And this is the stuff that the fucking media should be talking about. It's just the one-on-one defensive efforts. Like when he's one-on-one, he needs to win those 50-50 battles because he's not a type of defender that's going to win the aerial battle. Like he's not. Like you got more chance of a fucking of Puncher winning the aerial battle. You got more chance of Howe winning the aerial battle. Based on last week's performance with the way that IQ was marking the ball, IQ is probably better in an aerial battle than what he is. He's a receiver. That's his style of play. He is a receiver to get the ball. And people make the argument that Nick Dacos is a receiver too, He gets the easy handball, like he receives it and he goes, which I don't think is 100%. I think Nick does do a lot of the one-on-one contested stuff inside the pack as well, right? But Nick's become more of a receiver since Ed Allen's been shining. Ed Allen's doing the dirty work and hand passing it out. I think the same things with Houston. Would I keep him in the back line? If you keep him in the back line, don't play him down the back pocket like they tried. You got to keep him on the half-back flank, right? Or he probably doesn't have the tank to run out a full game in the middle, including the wing, right? Because it's too much up and back. I'd be putting him in the half-forward line. I'd be putting him
in the half-forward line. Yeah? All right.
I genuinely would. It's either half-back or half-forward. You've got to put him there too. And don't forget, Port Adelaide never had a Josh Dacos in their team. Yeah. Port Adelaide never. Josh is playing the role that Houston played at Port Adelaide.
Yeah.
And that's what got Josh an All-Australian the same year. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of comparisons there. We're just a better team with better players, even when we're depleted. But don't be surprised, and I'll eat my words now because it probably won't happen now that I'm saying it, but don't be surprised if fucking Houston has a blinder this week because we're depleted in the back line. We don't have Howe in. He has to step up. He has to go that next level. So, I don't know. That's just, I think everything else that you guys are saying about Houston, about his turnovers, his defensive efforts, blind Freddie can fucking see that. I 100% agree with it.
But you're not saying that's a fair criticism? Like what you ask from a professional footballer on big bucks, you want to see efforts where he, crashes the contest like his fucking life depends on it, man. Whereas you see sometimes where he just kind of like hangs back a bit and we cop goals and it's fucking frustrating. And he's a better player. And I don't know what it is. Maybe he's probably a bit apprehensive because he's been rubbed out a few times. And with his priors, if he gets rubbed out again, he might cop a big suspension. So he's probably
is the focus so much on him because of what we gave up for him, knowing that he was an All-Australian before we picked him up? Like, is that why we're focusing so much on it? Because there was a 4 or 5 game stretch.
I wouldn't think so.
There was a 4 or 5 game stretch. Okay, but there was a 4 or 5 game stretch in the middle of the season that when we lost to like Sydney and stuff like that, where we should have won those games, and the Geelong thumping that we copped the first time we played them, right? I can go back and find you the highlights and put it on my next video. But there was so many times that Isaac Quainer did not go for the ball, did not put his head over the ball. He fumbled it. He cost us goals, right? Nobody said shit. I love IQ. I think he's fantastic. But nobody said shit. The second we played against Gold Coast and Houston ran over the ball and it cost us 1 goal, everybody's having an emotional fucking breakdown. Like, I'm thinking, and then 2 seconds later, he gets the ball and sets up a goal. The problem is, though, that he needs to fix, and I've said this many times, and I said this on the I said this on the Into the Woods podcast too, was that Houston might turn over the ball or cost us 3 goals, right?
Yeah.
but every week he's also setting us up for 3 goals. So my biggest criticism of Houston is it means nothing if it's cancelling itself out. Okay.
Yeah.
The stuff ups, you've got to, it happens. Everyone's human. Yeah. If he has one stuff up a game, but sets us up for 3 or 4, everybody's not going to say anything. But he's on, it's basically net zero at the moment. Okay. It's not in the negative, but it's net zero. He needs to be, if you're going to cost us 3 goals or you're going to contribute into us not doing good in the defense for whatever reason, you need to respond by contributing at least 2 more goals up forward by delivering the ball thing. And I think he has been doing that, but it's just too much of an even ratio. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because he'll fuck up 3 times against Gold Coast, but he set 3 goals up.
Yeah.
You know, he fucked up a couple of times against Carlton, but he still set 2 goals up and kicked one himself. So it's not as if he's not contributing.
Yeah.
But it's just that you're contributing, but you're costing us a couple of little bits down back. That has to be fixed 100%.
Yeah.
Right? But we've got to get the key defensive aspect of his game out because he's not. And I'm not saying that you guys have said he's a key defender, but there's so much responsibility and so much pressure on him. It's like he is. The pressure should be on Frampton, playing tall, intercept. I mean, against Geelong, Frampton's got the ball. The bloke's taken a bounce and gone for a gallop. Frampton should never be doing that, but he is.
Of course, yeah. It should be hoisted.
And he should be. Frampton should be fucking All-Australian this year. He won't, but he should be.
But like in terms of that, though, do you actually think that that's more system, or do you think Houston just can't get to that spot to get the handball? So if Frampton's there,
I think it's system. I think it's system. I think the system needs to change because if you look at the way that Houston played last season compared to the stats and everything that he's got this season, he is much better this season. And that fucking, I'll defend. Like it's exactly the same as Lockie Schultz's first season to his second season. The problem is I think there's more expectation on Houston because of the fact of what we gave up. We only gave away a first round pick for Lockie Schultz, and he is proved to be worth every bit of it.
I think it's actually more the fact that he was a 2-time All-Australian coming into it. I don't think, at least in terms of the way I look at it, I don't necessarily look at the money aspect. I look at he's a proven player. He was a back-to-back All-Australian when he came in. I'm looking at those things. I can look at it in the sense, okay, he was probably, he was a bit of a and I know I'm probably going to get torched in the comments now, but he probably has that Alex Fasolo effect, or even like the Jack Anthony effect, where because he was in like a side that wasn't as good, he seemed to be like the beneficiary of like being one of the faces of the team. And now that he's gone to a team, as you said before, that has like lifted, he sort of and his role has also increased as well because he's having to like defend and things like that, which he just hasn't been a good defender. So I think it's not just this like simple like has he been good, has he been bad? There's been a lot of like learnings along the way. But also, again, when you come into it, he still has been he still has like the weapons. That's the thing that I would probably harp on, the fact that he has his kicking. I think in terms of seeing him on the field, I think his tank hasn't been as good as what we've assumed. Just getting from like contest to contest.
But did he play midfield? Sorry to interrupt, but did he play midfield at Port Adelaide? And I'm genuinely asking because I didn't really watch their games too heavily. But did he play midfield or at Port? Because
he had thinking, some minutes, but like it wasn't. When I say minutes, it's like it was like as many minutes as Perriman had at Giants. So it wasn't that he had no minutes, but it's like basically similar to how many minutes Perriman got at the Giants, pretty much. So it's like probably not enough to consider him even a part-time midfielder, but he did.
Yeah. So that would say to me then that the tank argument of Houston, it doesn't really matter in that sense. He's a flanker, in my opinion, whether it be half forward flank or half back flank. He's a flanker, and he's a person that might push up to a contest like Bo does, for example, when he's on the flank, when he's on the half forward flank or whatever. But I just think he's Houston's a really good receiver of the football, and he's the good distributor, right? And this is where I'm going to change the topic a little bit here. This is more directed to Mick. But it's exactly the same as Lipinski on the wing, where I think his one-on-ones have gotten a lot better over the past month before he got this injury. I think the past few weeks he's stepped it up a notch. Yeah. But I think what's even gone even better is his delivery into the forward 50. Right now, I'm pretty sure that's at elite sort of levels.
Oh, yeah. That's never been a problem with me. It's always been the
one-on-ones,
shirking of the contest, and there's just been too many of them. There's been too many of them for me to look away and say, oh, but his inside 50s are fucking so elite that I'm going to forget about that. You saw it against Melbourne. It just kind of like the whole fucking crowd. It just sunk our hearts, and you just don't want players like that fucking putting efforts like that playing for the black and white, man. We've got such a rich history of fucking hard players that go in and fucking give everything, and then you see shit like that, and it's not the only time he's done it. And look, if I'm wrong, I'll admit it, man. I know he's fucking picked up his game in that. He had a nice 7-8 week stretch there where he was using it so well. He's got clean hands. He hits targets. No problem with that at all. It's just the other part of that game, and it goes back to Houston with that too, man. I'm very big on. Yeah.
So as it stands at the moment, Houston is having right now his 4th best season in the AFL. His 4th best season.
Yeah.
He's just, and I'm judging this on disposal averages, but also every other category sort of lines up the way that it's supposed to.
I can understand. All right, he's got the stats up, but on the eye, if you were to tell, I can't agree with you there that he's having like a fantastic fucking.
Nah, he's not. I'm not saying he is, but I'm not saying he's having. I agree with you there. I'm not saying he's having an over the top fantastic season, especially into comparison with his other ones. And I'm the first not to bring up stats, but I have to, in the sense of like, I want to see exactly, because I can get a feel for it too. And I can see that sometimes he fumbles the ball in packs. He might, make a shitty hand pass that he's not supposed to make or whatever it is. But I also see that when he's on, or when he's half or 3/4 on, he is miles above the rest. And I still think to this day, most games this year, he's been our 4th or 5th best player. And the only guys that are on top of him in being our best players for whatever reason would have to be Nick. And then there's fucking daylight to the whole competition, let's be real. But then there's Josh. And then there's Jordan De Goey. And the next one after that, most of the time, is either Houston or Jack Crisp.
Okay.
Right? So he's consistently there. But when you're saying on the eye, I understand what you're saying. Like, because I base all my opinions and everything is on the eye. And from what I see, that's my whole motto for my stuff too, I base it on what I see from the eye. But I just think his strengths outweigh his weaknesses. But if he fixes just some of those weaknesses, we're not even going to be in discussion about him. We're going to be talking about players like we should be praising Bo for his last 3 weeks of football, but we should be like, where the fuck were you the entire season?
Yeah.
Where the fuck was Membry before his injury? He comes back from his injury, and I think he's in the top 10 like most consistent forwards in the competition. And then Dan McStay, he's probably the most, apart from the way Logan Morris is playing tonight, Dan McStay is probably one of the best forwards in the comp. So
Oh yeah, fucking right. Yeah.
But there's another topic of conversation. I don't mean to cut in on your stuff or anything like that.
No.
I
Talk
really
about anything, mate.
I really wanted to get your boys' opinions on our forward line in particular. We'll move away from the Houston stuff now for a sec, but just on the stuff in regards to the forward line makeup and everything. Are we happy with the fact that Harvey Harrison's getting starting positions in our forward line when there's other players out there that I think are probably more suited to play forward straight away. And I know this is going to ruffle a few feathers in the chat, and I'm fucking here for it. But why isn't Sidebottom starting in the forward pocket this week?
Well, that's been.
I mean, everyone's
been saying that
all season. Yeah.
He's a natural goal sneak. He should be close to the goals, man. In the twilight of his career, that's how he should end his career, by kicking 2s and 3s every week. But instead, Fly's got him, stat padding in the back line. He can't stick a tackle. He gets burnt, and it just fucking makes us go fucking absolutely nuts, man. He should be in the forward line, and in front of Harvey Harrison as well. I'd give you that.
But also in terms of Harrison, though, I'm kind of surprised why we haven't upgraded at some point Harrison to even the wing, because he even had some games in the VFL. Because I know he didn't play the Box Hill game, but 2 games before that he was basically best on, and he was playing in the midfield. So I'm not even sure, because I know and I know Mick, you've got Josh on the wing and stuff. But
I put him on the wing all the time. I know
but I'm saying I would even have Josh on the wing. Yeah, I know, but I'm saying I would have even Josh on the wing and Harrison on the other wing, and have Sidey in the pocket, because especially with Sidey, I'd actually be surprised if he plays next year, because I just don't think he has anything left. But if you play him in the forward pocket, at least you'll probably get 2 or 3 goals out of him, because
this is Sidebottom, not Harrison. You're talking about Sidebottom,
because when Sidebottom played, early days, in his first couple of years, him and Beams would be on the half-forward flanks, because they were basically a poor man's midfielder developing to be midfielders. But even Beams would kick a goal every now and then, and Sidey would even have games where I think there might have been, was it the game against North where he even kicked 5 from the half-forward flank, but he'd even be kicking 2-3 goals, and I think even some of it, or probably most of it, even comes under Fly. It's we've had so many bits of evidence over the years, but we just seem to be doing the same tactics over and over again. We don't seem to, and I know he says, but we have a ping at the stumps and, rolling the dice and all this stuff. But we just don't seem to do it, in terms of the execution, because again, Sidey, I reckon he would have been forward in that Adelaide game for maybe 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. And I think he was at 1 goal, he 1 goal 2 or something, or 1 goal 1. So it's he's only in there for 10 minutes, and he could have had 3 goals for 10 minutes of game time in the forward line. It's just, I mean, at the end of the day, I just want to win flags. That's I've been saying this ever since I've been supporting this club. I mean, hey, you could even bring in Illaru Smith. If Illaru Smith is going to be the guy that wins us a flag, I don't give a shit. I want to win a fucking flag, Obviously, that's not going to happen, but I'm just saying as a extreme example. But having Steele in the forward pocket, or Sidey in the forward pocket, because whenever I say Steele, I'm meaning Roan. But having Sidey in the forward pocket, it's just crazy to me how outside of maybe 10 to 15 minutes in the whole season, he hasn't played forward. And it's blown my mind, especially when, we even have Josh Dacos, an all-Australian wingman, until when are we going to play him on the wing?
Josh needs to play middle. If Josh is going to stay on the half-back flank, then that's fine. But otherwise, I'd be putting him in the middle. And in a game like this, especially against West Coast, I'd be putting Josh straight in the middle, and I'd be putting Swaddling on the wing. Why Swaddling's been put in the midfield, I've got no idea. Swaddling needs to be on the wing this game, and Josh Dacos needs to be straight. If you're not going to play Josh Dacos on the half-back flank, that's fine. I'm glad you're not. But put him in the guts, because, I just feel like he's screaming for another game like he did against Gold Coast last year. I've just got a feeling like he's frothing to try to do that, and he just needs to be given the license and the keys to do it. That's it.
Man. And he works so well with his brother,
in terms of a part-time role or a full-time role? Would you want?
See, this is the difference. Houston hasn't got the tank to do that. Josh Dacos has the tank to do that. So get Josh out of the back line, put him in the midfield, and put Swaddling on the wing and keep it like that for the rest of the
And
season.
just have him there for like 85% of the game.
Yeah, and then like the other only the 15% is either resting on the bench or fucking put him on the fucking forward pocket to give him a spell. Who cares?
Yeah.
You know?
Look, man, that goes back to the Houston thing, yeah. So when the ball goes back to the center and we take a bounce and you have a look at who's lining up in the back line, when you see Houston and Josh lining up there, and I know like as the game goes, players fucking go everywhere and they play zone defense and that, but I've seen us cop so many dumb goals because Josh is not renowned for staying on his man, and Houston's man usually kicks a goal. It's kind of, I do think you can only afford one player like that in your back six that is kind of like that loose guy that doesn't have doesn't have to. He's just there to distribute the ball, and we've always gone with Josh and Dan for some reason. And look, I've always said it should be just Dan, and Dan should be taking the fucking kickouts, short passing it to someone at centre half back, running past like Nick does when Nick goes back there, getting the fucking handball and fucking, lacing out someone.
The only time I want to see Nick take the kickouts is if he's going to do the 1-2, because he'll do the 1-2 and before you know it, he's on the wing. Like from a kick out.
Yeah.
You know? So I'm okay with Nick taking the kickouts if he does that. Otherwise, I'd rather Nick be the one who gets it kicked to, turns around, and he's fucking off already. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just getting some just getting a few things up for Warble, because he made a smart ass comment about Houston. So I'm just getting the some stuff dropped in from about halfway through the season at the moment, and I'm just going to get all this shit up in a second. So keep talking, because I'm frothing at the mouth for this.
You made a big call earlier, Andreas, saying Houston's been our fourth best player for most of these games.
That's what I'm doing. That's exactly what I'm looking up now to back up my comments. Yeah, I'm going to average it out in a second for you.
Yeah, I can't see that, man. I cannot agree with you there at all, man. Respectfully, man. Fourth best player, Houston this year.
In terms of certain games, though, like there's definitely been games where he's definitely been up there as one of our better players. But I feel like, I don't know the actual number, but I feel like maybe he's had like half a dozen games like that. And
so far I'm only at one game where he was ranked, and I'm only doing this for Collingwood players, not the overall game. I don't give a fuck about the opposition. I'm talking about our structure. So far, I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I think I'm at like around 8 or something at the moment. And only once he was rated the 16th best player based on disposals, efficiency, and all that type of stuff. Everything else, it's 3, 2, 6, 1, 5, 5. So I don't think I'm too far off the mark here, but I'm halfway through the season at the moment. So I just think the criticism on him is too harsh, man. That's all. And like, to be honest with you, I would love it if he just turned around and fucking said, "Fuck this, I'm going up forward," and then the conversation stops. Or because I just think you're wasting his talent if he's too. Yeah, I just think it's wasting his talent if you're too much fucking worrying about him being, a one-on-one defender. He's not a one-on-one defender. He's a fucking run, come catch me sort of defender.
It's a double-edged sword, man. We're not playing him properly, and he is a professional player that if asked to do something that he's not familiar with, he should, by his best ability, try and do what he's asked to do for the team.
And
so
if he's racking up and averaging 25 disposals from what I'm getting at the moment, can you imagine if they actually played him in the right position?
Yeah.
In terms of a multiverse, if we want to use the Marvel term, but like there is a multiverse where Fly can make the decision where Houston can quickly turn this around. But I would love to be wrong. I don't sit here on a high horse and go, "Oh, awesome!" Like Houston's having the season that he's having. Like, I feel like the takes I have, especially if they're resulting in a bad result in Collingwood's favor, like. After I say them, like I'm basically saying to myself, like, hey, like I want to be wrong because I don't want to I don't want to be shitting on this club. I don't want to be.
No, of course, man.
saying
Like, and
things.
I made a comment about Ed Allen, and I'm wearing it with a badge of honor, saying that he was a fucking potato when he was in and out of the team for the past fucking 2 years, and that's simply because Fly wasn't playing him in the right spot. The bloke's not a flanker. The bloke's not a wingman. He's a fucking inside midfielder. You play him in the right position, in the inside midfielder, and look what happens. Like,
Well, it was
look
especially
how
at the
good
start
he
of
is.
the year. Yeah, because at the start of the year, his biggest issue was that he was very timid, and he wouldn't go in for the ball. And I don't know what happened internally, because it would have to be an internal thing. I don't know if Fly would just went up to him and was like, "Mate, Ed Allen, you are our guy. Like, just put on that superhero cape and just go and get that damn ball." So I don't know what the hell happened, but it just seemed like overnight. I can't remember what game it was. It might have been the Sydney game actually, and like, which was about 3 months ago, and like ever since then, he just hasn't missed a beat since.
Who's this? Sorry, because I'm on the
Allen.
Sydney game now. Ed Allen.
Yeah,
he got 17 disposals in that game, and he had.
Because it's been a while.
He only had 62% time on ground that game too.
Yeah,
like he wasn't like a fucking nick or anything like that on there. But that game, he was like, you knew where he had to put him.
Yeah.
After
but that's the
100%.
thing. When you saw, or at least when I was like watching him, because I was saying it for weeks, it's like, why is he so timid? Like, you've got this big guy, he's 194 centimeters, big midfielder, should be like a Cripps, a Bont,
He's
whichever.
exactly the same as Chris, like body shape and stuff.
Yeah, and but yeah, and I'm just thinking, like, why the fuck are you so timid? And then I don't know, it just felt like overnight, and so I'm assuming, like he was said, whatever that game was going into that week, I'm sure Fly would have said something, someone would have said something to him, and just being like, mate, just back yourself in, and he backed himself in, and since he had that belief of, okay, I'm just not going to be timid anymore. I don't know if you want to put this in the vault, Mick, just as a, well, not as a piss take, but like, it wouldn't surprise me if it happens. I wouldn't even be surprised if Ed Allen's even All Australian next year. That's literally how well he's going,
mate. You know how it works, Sean, mate. There's no,
I think he's far
there's
off.
no apprehension when it comes to the vault, mate. You got to be fucking certain.
Mick, just put it in there. He's going to be All Australian next year.
Let's give a caveat here for him. Let's just put a thing on that one there. Sean, he'll be in the All Australian squad next year. That I think 100%, 100%. Because then if he gets if he gets in the team, you look like more of a sick cunt. So that's how you.
Then if he makes the All Australian squad, I look even more of a sick cunt though.
Yeah, how good's that? Look at that, Nick.
Yeah.
You know what? I've got to put my hand up too, because I wasn't seeing it earlier this year with Ed, and my, I'm just a nuffy, mate. I just want the Pies to win, man. Yeah. So I said at the start of the year, if Ed can't fucking get the ball on the wing, or if he can't show something on the wing, what's he going to do on the inside? Yeah. And I was proved totally wrong, and I put my hand up too. But I didn't go as far as you, Andreas, and call him a fucking potato. But I just said I couldn't see it, and I'm glad to be wrong. I kept be proven wrong.
Yeah, I kept using the word timid, and then I've only been to one VFL game this season, and it was the Box Hill game. And when I left that Box Hill game, I'm like, no, he's a midfielder. The conversation's done. Like, he is a midfielder. And I think that might have been when he came back into the side. I don't know at what point. I think that's when they played him in the midfield straight away.
It was against West Coast. I was at the West Coast game or something. Pendle's game.
Was it? Okay.
It might have been around then. Or maybe like the week before.
Anthony from Pies Footy. He thinks I've got Lipinski captive in my basement. You know what?
Was he playing midfield against Sydney?
He did, but I think it was definitely the West Coast game, because he kicked a mad goal, and then the week after that we played the Bulldogs, and he shut down Richards, and then he shut down Bont, and then when he shut down Bont, Richards started playing well, and then when he shut down Richards, Bont took the game apart.
Yeah. All right.
Yes.
But yeah, no, like in terms of I guess the whole point of it is that once he lost his once he's sort of lost the factor of being timid, because when I saw that Box Hill game, I'm like, there's no chance that this guy is not going to get through this season without playing midfield, because the game that he had that night, it was so obvious he needed to be a midfielder. And it's kind of and I do hope at some point we sort of do lose the tagging role for him. Like, I just hope he just becomes just a genuine midfielder. Because
I'll be very happy if we can just give that to Perryman when we need it. Like, play him in the back line, play against the guns, and just do the Levi fucking Greenwood shit. And just wear this, like, just sit in his pocket and fucking niggle him all day.
Yeah,
man. I've said it all year, man. I thought Pezza could be an ace up our sleeve going. It's not going to happen now because he's done his hammy. But I thought Pezza could be an ace up our sleeve going towards the final third of the season, heading towards the finals, and like as a midfielder, yeah. But no, I hope next year he transitions into a midfielder.
I think he's done all right this season though. He's just been a bit unlucky with his injuries and shit.
I just hate seeing him trying to pick up some nippy small forward, as he's done good jobs though, yeah. But I reckon he's got more attributes as a midfielder. He's hard at it. He's classy. We can see he can get the ball. When he tagged Naz and got more fucking possessions than him, man, in that first game.
Oh, he shut Naz down something vicious.
And plus, he beat him in posies. Usually a shutdown job, your man still gets more posies, but he's not effective. But he got more.
You just walk away with like 20 tackles a game. That's it.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Anthony from Pies Footy's taking the piss. He reckons I've got Lipinski captive in my garage. I'll tell you what, man.
We've got to deny those allegations.
He's right here, mate. I'm torturing him. And but I'll tell you what, I would love to see. I'm excited. Look, I'm a bit pessimistic, but I'm also excited about this game with all these young players in. And I really hope that one of these young kids, can kind of like do a job using the ball like similar to what Lipinski has been doing. Because look, he has improved his. He went through a purple patch with his ball, with his distribution. I'm not going to fucking deny that at all. But yeah. Thanks for joining us, Lou Felino, Carlton supporter. Sticking the boots in. These guys are up and about, mate. Fuck it, hell, mate. Take it easy, man.
Really?
Mate.
Yeah. And they'll be more up and about now, considering that Brisbane's slapping Hawthorn.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a bit harsh for Spider-Man. 6 out of 10?
Apparently it's a good one. I'm not a superhero fan, but apparently it's a really good one. It's getting good reviews and shit. But anyway.
Yeah, I was saying 7.5 or 8. I was saying
6 out of 10 is not a good review.
Yeah.
6 is like an okay rating. Generous, wow, okay. I mean, I do have some issues with that movie, but not to the point where it's a 6.
All right. Our season this year.
There's no spoilers.
Our season this year, Andreas, yeah? It's a bit of a letdown, yeah? Earlier this year.
Could be worse. Jesus, they don't sound like Kane Corns.
I reckon it's a bit of a letdown, Andreas. We had a lot of winnable games early. Against big like Hawthorn, Freo, Western Bulldogs, Sydney. There's probably 2 more games. Melbourne. There's probably 2 more games where we were in winnable positions.
The Adelaide game at the start of the season. Adelaide game at the start of the season, and we came back from being 5 goals down, and we hit the front, and then they got 2 stupid free kicks, 50-meter penalties when they won by 14 points. There is so many games this season where if you just take half of them. So if you take the Sydney game, because I still think we should have beaten Sydney, I think they're fucking pretenders. So Sydney, Fremantle gather round. We had them on toast, even though it was a low-scoring game. We just stopped for 3 minutes in the third quarter, and then it was 50-50 after that, and then we just didn't convert. And then the other one was the Bulldogs one. They're the 3. The Hawthorn draw, so let's say 4, yeah? So you give us another 2 points there. So 2, 6, what's that, 10, What's that? Another 14 points up. I'm pretty sure that takes us into the top 4. So we're a top 4 team. I'm telling you now, we're not far off. With that being said, we've just got to fix up the small little bits. The injuries right now haven't helped us. That's a fact. But you're going to have seasons like this. You're going to have seasons, and the good part about this season is that we can clearly identify what's needed. We're not putting band-aids over seasons where, like, we had a really good patch in the middle of last year. We won a few games towards the end where we needed to, and then we made a prelim final. It was probably overs with the form that we were playing towards the back end of last year. You know what I mean? But if we were fighting for a top 4 spot, if some of those results had gone our way, even with some of the games that we got pumped against Brisbane, twice against Geelong, it'd be a completely different perception of what's happening. With that being said, the good part about it now is that we can identify what we need. We've got a salary cap that's a treasure chest at the moment. We've got access to picks and everything. So I think regardless of what happens this season, cop it on the chin, be disappointed. We're not going to win a flag every year. But with that being said, I think the good part about this being a transition year, in a sense, I wouldn't say a gap year, I'd say a transition year, identifying what we need and stuff. You need to have these years if you're going to win a flag. Because we had a transition year in 2021. We finished second last, and we painted the script perfectly, and then 2 years later we won a flag. So I think we're on the same sort of trajectory. I want to see, you know what I want to see in the next few weeks? I want to see the kids. I want to see the kids take us to a wildcard final and win it, because then I don't give a shit what happens after that. I want to see the kids say, hey, boys, jump on our back and we'll carry you through the wildcard final. We'll carry you into a semi-final or elimination final or whatever it is, and we'll do it. Not Pendles, not DeGoey. I'm going to say not even Nick. You know Nick's going to do it, but you don't want him to. You want the others to do it, and then him to do what he needs to do. You know what I mean? Like I want to see Harvey Harrison. I want to see Angry Anderson. I want to see fucking Swadling. I want to see players like Hayes come back in, and then just be like, well, we've got yous. We'll take yous to the fucking as far as we can go. You do that this season, the next 2 seasons, we're fucking perfect.
Look, I'm going to get Adrian on just now, but before I do, I'm just going to say, Andreas, I cannot give I know it's a transition year. We've had too many missed opportunities, which I blame. It's got to be a coaching thing too, man. Like when you're up by that much in so many of these games and you shit the bed in so much of them, I just think like going into Presti mode when we're only like fucking 3 goals up in some of these games and going full defensive, it just really lets you down. And we've missed an opportunity to be knocking on the door for top 4. Instead, we're languishing fucking 11th, 10th, 9th. And there has to be some big fucking,
but that's going to happen. That's the thing. That's going to happen. And the good part about this year is we're able to identify these things, and we're not bottoming out. Like, let's be fucking realistic about this for a second. Yeah, we can be sad that we're not going to win the flag this year. Everybody is, right? But at the same time, they told us that we're going to be falling off a cliff. They made it out as if we're going to be fucking bottom 4. They made it out as if our club's fucking screwed, right?
But Andreas, we lose on Sunday, and we lose the other 2 games. We could miss the whole we could miss the 10. That sounds like a cliff to me, man. Not even making the
I would rather finish 11th. I would rather finish 11th than finish second last and be an absolute basket case. I would rather finish 11th. You've won Anzac Day. You've beaten Carlton twice. You've knocked off Adelaide and Adelaide. You've fucking, you've played through. You won Scott Pendlebury's game. You marked off all the big games, apart from Easter Thursday and King's birthday, which really we probably should have won King's birthday. But with that being said, I'd rather that and identify the problems and not bottom out, because honestly, man, like it could be worse. It could be worse. We could have won a flag in 23 and then been like, okay, boys, reset, see you later, and we're down the bottom like Richmond for the next fucking 10 years.
Yeah.
Or it could be worse. We could be like fucking Essendon, who their club is a complete fucking write-off.
Yeah.
Like it's not all doom and gloom. It's disappointing 100% because we should be in the top 4.
Yeah.
Realistically, we should be playing top 4 football this year, right? But
I think it's also just top 4 over the fact that I just feel like there's teams. If I was a supporter of some of these teams, I don't think I'd be confident going into this final series.
mate,
Outside
my
of
mate,
probably
my mate
Brisbane
Matt,
and Freo, like there are no clubs that should be. If you were supporting, say, Hawthorn or whoever, maybe Hawthorn's probably third on that list. But I just don't see supporters. I wouldn't think it'd be right for supporters to be supporting like your Hawthorns and anyone below that to even put $10 on them to like win the flag or whatever. Because I just don't think that there's been enough assurance of like them winning the flag. Like Freo and Brisbane, you can make a case because Freo have been awesome. Yes, they haven't had a ton of finals experience, but again, they've been really good and they've been very solid. But they'll also get their games in Perth, which is going to also make a big difference. But that's the thing. That's only 2 teams. So effectively, we could. And I'm not saying we are going to finish third, but from a form perspective, going into finals, we could be the 3rd best team potentially if we got all of our shit together.
Yeah, but and we're not far off. The injuries have been a bit of a fucking hit to us, 100%. But every team gets them. And I think what you're trying to say is, and I thought about this the last 2 years, especially in 2024, going into like missing out on the finals, but sort of getting into a little bit of a rhythm and just missing it on percentage, right? I have the feeling that, yeah, we've been unlucky in certain areas, but the premiership race has been fucking weak as fuck since we won the flag.
Yeah.
Like
I could not agree more.
If you look at the 2023 season, Collingwood, Brisbane, Melbourne, GWS, St Kilda had a really good patch of form. Who else was there? There was one more, Port Adelaide, right? Because Geelong missed out in the finals that year for the first time, fucking God knows how long. They were the 6 clubs that I genuinely thought we're gonna have a serious tilt at it, right? And all we needed to do was get to a certain point, and qualify for the top 4, and we would have been fine. But since then, the 2024 premiership was weak. The 2 clubs who deserved to be there were there, and that was a fucking write-off of a grand final. The same thing with 2025. I mean, if we had beaten Brisbane in that prelim, which after halftime we're never going to, but you look at that, we would have pumped Geelong by 10 goals in that second half, right? The flag itself has been, the last 2 seasons have been completely fucking weak compared to when we won the flag. This season, I feel as if Fremantle and Brisbane have taken it that next step. Even with Brisbane not being in the top 2, they're cooking. Forget last week. They're priming themselves for this. I think Geelong is still sniffing, but Freo have taken it the next level this year. And who knows what happens next year. If it's the same thing and we improve our list, I'll be very surprised if we're not top 4 next year. But the last couple of seasons, it's been weak as fucking shit. And that just proves that with a better management and just a few little ins on our team, we can go. I'm convinced. I'm so convinced. We've identified it. We just
Yeah.
got to get rid of this Collingwood curse of not landing big players, and we've just got to
Yeah.
sell the farm and get Butters into the team, or fucking throw a curveball and get Merritt into the midfield. Do a deal with Essendon. Because
We have to get someone to help
only-
Nick out, man. It's fucking ridiculous watching this kid bust his chops for us every fucking week. And in the close ones, it's Nick that steps up. It's Nick. He's doing everything, mate. Taking kickouts, controlling the midfield, going forward when we need a goal. It's just ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
We have to get Butters, man. But I'm not even. I say that, but it's probably not even going to fucking happen, man. But if
Based
not
on the way
Neil,
the Dogs are
Lockie
playing,
Neal for a year, and then someone else after that, man. But I feel
Lockie
sorry
Neal's
for Nick,
more.
man.
Lockie Neal's more than a 1 year prospect. Don't kid
Yeah.
yourself, mate. Our management, our sports science shit is way advanced than other players. If we're getting the maximum out of these old guys, don't be surprised if Lockie Neal has a 3-year season. And is that
Yeah.
comment serious from Lou? No offense, guys, but next year you will finish bottom 8. Your list is old.
They're up and about, mate. They're up and about.
Shut the fuck up, seriously, bro. Like we're going to finish in the bottom 8. Like you've beaten apart from fucking what? You beat Brisbane, who forgot to arrive, and Lockie Neal was too busy touring Collingwood's fucking change rooms. Right, that's your only big scalp for the season, and you played him at Marvel. Like,
Yeah. Let them have their day in the sun, mate. They're
no,
up and about.
they don't get a day in the
They're
sun.
talking. They're
They
talking
had the
fucking
70s.
premiership
They had the
stuff, mate.
they had the 70s. They had the 80s. They had the 90s. Fuck off, corrupt cunts, man. Fuck off. I'm a
On that
that shit. You guys want fucking big shit? Fucking put him on, and we'll have a fucking debate.
Yeah,
Um,
but in terms of the past though, like 2024 and 25, like I think that those two, and even this year as well, I think this year's probably been the biggest botch out of the last 3 seasons. But yeah, you can't, especially the previous 2 years, you can't tell me that we should have gone into this year as winning the flag 3 times in a row. Like, and also not only that, we also created the monster that is the Brisbane Lions. The Brisbane Lions as a monster is not scary. In terms of if you go and look at the Brisbane Lions of 01 and 03, and then like the Geelong teams and the Hawthorn teams, like I just don't see that this Brisbane team stacking up personally. And I think a lot of it has come down to just a lack of selection integrity. We don't manage the players through injuries and stuff. I just think that when it comes to Fly, I just think he's one of the biggest safe bet merchants in. I mean, I don't give a shit about other coaches. I only care about Fly because he's a Collingwood coach. But in terms of how he's managed some of these players, and even just the turnovers in terms of having the kids come in. Yes, it's been better this year, but I mean, I still think that there's still some improvement in that department. But previous years, like having someone like a Joe Richards go over to Port, and he's been playing pretty well. Like I personally, I just think that we've ever since we won the flag, like I just think we've just had botch after botch.
Well, it hasn't exactly gone exactly according to plan, but with that being said, you're going to have, as a supporter, you should have at least a 12-month grace period after winning the flag. If you're not going to make finals, be content with the fact that you won it the season before.
I don't know if I agree with that actually, because I do think in 24, I definitely think that because again, and because there was obviously the talk that a lot of the players, like we didn't start preseason on time. Like a few of the guys enjoyed themselves, and yeah, absolutely they should be enjoying themselves. But we also should have been, we should have adapted on the run though. Like the first 10 weeks of the season, we should have been in like a list transition and like a rebuild mode. We should have played, even if it was, getting Ed Allen in there and a Jacob Ryan. And I mean, I'm not going to go into depth in terms of who was on the list in 2024, but like you could have played so many kids. You could have, gone a bit more of a youth type of style. Cause the first 10 games of the season, at the end of the day, if you're hypothetically, even if you're 2 wins, 8 losses after round 10, does it really matter? Because you can still make it up in the back half of the season. And even then, I would even argue if you're playing the kids, like I would even say, like when you're actually playing the kids, I don't even think you have a 2 win and 8 loss season. I think the results would be about the same, because if you've actually looked at even for this year, every time we played the kids, it's probably the best we've like looked. Yes, there's been some games we have like lost with the kids that have been played, but I think we actually look better with more of a kid focused team than we do a seniors focused team.
And we've played the kids a fair bit this season. They won 11 games. But to go back to old mate's comment saying that we're the oldest team in the competition, yeah, on average we are. I think it's by like 1 year, not even, right? But then when we get some retirements and stuff like that happening this season, we're going to be one of the youngest because we're going to have so many kids coming through, regardless of who we keep. We're going to be smack bang in the middle of the pile. You take out Pendlebury, you take out Sidebottom, and our age profile drops dramatically. But I think the average is about 2 years, which pushes us to about 7th. And I'd love to know what our age profile average would be with the team that we've got lined up against West Coast.
Yeah.
And the thing
It'll
is,
be interesting.
And everything
we've got 10
you said
players
there,
under
Sean,
30 games playing, you know? Yeah.
Right? But then there's also this argument too. There's the argument that, and this is more from the mainstream than Carlton Nuffies who got no clue. But the mainstream media is very critical when we take out a lot of experience in our team and we play the youngsters. Okay? They comment, why do they do this? Why do they do that? But then if we don't play the youngsters and we're too old and we happen to lose a game, it's what are they doing? This is that, blah, blah, blah. If anything, it's an indictment on the VFL to try and get these kids up, because I don't care, and I'll take this to the grave. If you have a team of older players that are playing better than what the younger players are, you are playing your best 23. Forget the young kids. If they're not playing good football to get into the side, that's that's on them. Have we had a couple of selection? I'm not sure this season. 100% we have. 100%. But the majority of the time, if your older boys are playing better football, you're going to play your older boys.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. You can't criticize us. You can't criticize us for having a good sports science system. It won us a flag 3 years ago.
Yeah. In terms of the selection, though, do you think we have had weeks where the selection has been shocking?
Shocking? I wouldn't say shocking. Questionable, yeah. 100% questionable. 100% questionable.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's like definitely been moments where we could have played certain players at certain times. And even then, like I think it's and I know that maybe this is going to be interesting to see how the chat reacts to this. I still think it's a good thing, even if you have. So hypothetically, let's just say we play, Jacob Ryan, say round 5 or 6, and let's just say we give him 3 games, and he stinks it up. I would still consider that a good thing, because at least you're trying some of these kids. And even though if you're playing that one kid that sort of stinks it up, like there will be games and I don't know what rounds they are, but at every point in the season, there's always a good run of about, say, 4 weeks where you play, say, 4 teams out of the bottom 6. If you're like that, that's when you should be trying like a few of these guys and saying, okay, we don't know where they're at. Let's actually play them and let's actually see like where they are at. Because I mean,
I can make an argument. I can make an argument for probably 3 players. I can make an argument for 3 players. We should have played Westmore at the start of the season.
100%. Yep.
We should have played Swaddling more at the start of the season, and he probably should have played against Geelong. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And the other one is, I just had a mental blank then. What an idiot.
Gus Hayes.
We should have played. No, Hayes has been injured. That's fair enough. Once he got in, he was doing all right, but he popped his shoulder. I think there was probably too much of a like for him. There was another one. Sorry, boys. I think it might have been Anderson.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you should have played. You can make the argument now for Jacob Ryan. You can make the argument probably for the last month and probably even beforehand, because he's had such consistent numbers. But we've got one of the best defenses in the competition. You got to, it sort of weighs itself out in that sense. You know what I mean? Cochrane, Mello got it. Cochrane should have played for me, like at the start.
Yeah.
So
he had a good preseason. Yeah, he should have played that first game against St Kilda.
Yeah.
All of us were fucking shouting it out.
Because then we wanted him against Adelaide, but then Adelaide might have been too big for him because they had Phil Thorpe, Tex, and that was probably too much to have a debut game. But then you throw Puncher in the back end of the season against Adelaide, and he gets towed up in the first half, but then sets the tone for the second. You know what I mean? So it's much of a muchness.
Yeah. In terms of the start of the season though, and I'm pretty sure he even started the year as a forward. But when it comes to Howes, would you have rated the move if we were to play Howes early on? So the conversations when we had, say, Cochrane was going to play or potentially was going to play and didn't, would you have gone, okay, let's actually play Howes? Because Howes was in that.
I would have played Jacob Ryan before then. 100% would have played Jacob Ryan. Yeah, but then Jacob Ryan got injured at the same time. So Howes would have been sort of next man up. But I don't know.
And Howes should have been playing as a defender in the preseason. All preseason, he played as a forward. He played the first two VFL games as a forward. Then when Moore went down, we put him down back. He should have really played that whole preseason. A lot of us were saying it too, man. We'll see how it goes, man.
I think also too. I mean, you can say almost every week there's been a selection, question mark and stuff like that. But I think a big part of it is also the positioning of some of the players. I think that's been a big thing too, because when we have been injury ridden, at times in the last few seasons, we've had a lot of players that can play like dual positions, and you've been able to move the magnets a bit more. Like in 2024, I mean, we were like, fuck, we got no one left. We had players playing multiple positions, different positions every week. Whereas I felt like the mid part of last year and most of this year, it's sort of been one person comes out, one person comes in, and they don't move it around to adjust it a little bit, even though this person could play here, this person could play there. It's been very, I don't know what the right word is, but I think it's been very stubborn. Does that make sense? Is that the right word? Our selection?
Yeah.
It's been very stubborn this season. So there are question marks. There are question marks there. I don't think it's been like shocking, but it's also become expected. So it's like we know what's going to happen. We know he deserves a game, but he's not going to get a game. We know Fly's going to go for the most experience when it happens, unless we need to have this person in the side. You know what I mean? I feel bad for Sully because he's fucking 35 possessions, 33 possessions every week or whatever it is. But there's too many players like him.
Yeah, it is what it is with Sully, man. He's playing for his career on Sunday, though. If he puts in a good shift and keeps his spot for the next two,
I'd be so pissed off if we gave him another 1 year deal. Don't do that. I'd be giving a 1 year deal to Jacob Ryan before Sully. I'd be giving, other players, renewing their contracts. I'd be delisting a fucking heap of players next season. Like TJ's got to go. His ball use is fucking horrible.
But he's got 1 more year left, so we'd have to keep him on, I reckon.
See, because he's got 1 more year left, I wouldn't be surprised if they actually got rid of Jacob Ryan and kept TJ for 1 more year because of his contract. Very similar to why they kept Ash Johnson for that last year. Hey, quickly too, I worked out the averages for what Dan Houston was ranked for all the games he's played this season, and I was wrong. It wasn't 4, it was 6. So he's been on average our 6th best player this season.
Yep.
And that's that was through the disposal efficiency.
Disposal efficiency, total games played. He hasn't missed a game all season. So it's number 6.
Okay.
Yeah, that doesn't convince me, Andreas, man. I don't think he's been.
I'm just saying. That's what the stats say. What we see is probably a bit more of an accurate reflection, what everybody sees, and we've come up with our opinions and stuff. But I'm just leaving it there for everyone to see.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. On that note, I'm going to introduce the Age of Reason into the chat. Adrian, how are you, pal?
Hey, good evening, Woodsman. How are we?
Doing pretty
Very
good.
good, man.
That's the way. Great conversation.
Just-
I've loved it.
Yeah. Just before you go on, Adrian, I just got to answer this guy, Bo. I'm fucking working tomorrow. I can't go to the Heidelberg versus Preston game. I was going to go there and catch up with you and give you shit, and because I know Heidelberg's going to absolutely smash yous. But
I actually
can't
having
make it. I've gotta work.
are the Preston fans allowed to rock up with this one with all their propaganda banners and shit like that?
Yeah. Here we go.
Piss off.
Uh,
Don't start, mate. You reckon I'm
They
passionate
shouldn't
about
be allowed
football?
in the Preston fans shouldn't be allowed in the fucking stadium, but it is what it is. But they're in better form than us, so yeah, we'll see what happens. Yeah. Adrian, how are you, pal?
Yeah, good, Mick. Good, mate.
Yeah.
I'm apprehensive about what's going to happen Sunday, Arvo. But yeah, look, season on the line, sort of stuff for us now.
Yeah. I've heard you in other streams say you're a bit pessimistic about this game. Does that still hold true?
Yeah, it's funny. I'm pessimistic. He's a big loss, Harry Perryman, mate. Look, it's just one of those things. We need to get a result somehow or another. Yeah, look, I'm concerned about just the amount of ins with players that have just had no opportunity all at once. So look, he's leaned on a little bit more experience. So Sullivan, even though we've discussed it, didn't really want to see him anymore. But look, it's probably just a little bit of that experience, senior footballer. I've said in the past, Lockie Sullivan's a very coachable footballer, even though we don't see much. He doesn't do much really, but very coachable. So he's the sort of guy a coach would love just to plug and play. Yeah, look, I just think getting this victory on Sunday will actually mean a lot in terms of the position of the list and the injuries and whatnot. It's actually, we should be beating it. Simple as that. But
They played shit against Richmond. They were shocking last week. And even though we didn't play a good game last week, we should, even based on our performance last week, we're a 5 to 6 goal better side than them on our worst day. Hey, can you get sorry to interrupt? Can you get Peter Buckley's comment up on Sullivan? That's fucking spot on what he said.
Sullivan is reliable. We know that he'll deliver. They want to get the win this week. Not prepared to punt on an unknown unless it was necessary, i.e. Howes. But Sullivan, whilst reliable, will get delisted. Yeah,
100%. That's spot on.
Yeah. I think
in terms of Sully though, because like with the VFL, he's been playing midfield. Are we expecting him to be a high half forward, like type of poor man's midfielder? Because he wouldn't be getting midfield time, surely.
Oh, pinch hit, he might. Pinch hit, move maybe into the stoppages around the ground. He'll come in as a 5th or 6th midfielder. But I wouldn't be surprised if he went to like where Gus and Harvey Harrison were on the half forward flank.
Yeah.
Like I'd probably play him in the forward pocket and put Shooter a bit higher, to be honest, just because then Shooter can then run up to the defence and be a bit more of a defensive attacker and apply pressure, tackle, manic pressure, and then lock it in. But yeah, I still see Sully being useful for the back end of his season, but then after that, no. Especially if you're going to get someone like a Lockie Neal into your team. You can't have too many of the same style of players, regardless if some are up here, some are down here. It's too many.
Yeah. Fucking Brisbane smashing the Hawks by, it's over, game over, 67 points. There you go, man.
They're going to fucking come out and give us one next week now.
Yeah. So Carlton supporters think they're fucking the bee's knees now. Yeah.
I think there's a weird stat saying that Hawthorn haven't won. Oh, they've only won like twice in the past 25 games at the Gabba. That's including the fucking COVID years.
Yeah.
Like they just can't play there.
Yeah.
Boss, I'm gonna head off because I'm gonna go to bed. I'm fucked from today. Lovely to chat to you. I love you
No worries,
all.
pal.
I love having differences.
You
of
love
opinion,
us.
Yeah.
You love us.
but
You came on and read fucking scorched earth on us, mate. What's going on, mate?
nah, it's all love, because in the day, I don't give a fuck how we win the flag as long as we win it. If we do everything
Yeah,
the wrong way and win a
absolutely.
flag, I couldn't care as long as we won it,
Yeah.
which I think we're going to be okay in the next couple of years. And just to see
Yeah.
some of these Carlton supporters get really high on their perch, and then they're going to get smacked back down to reality. And just one more point before I go, how good is it that they can only do good, or they only get excited when Collingwood people come to their club, right, and have to fucking try and fix it.
Mate.
Like fuck me.
Exactly, mate.
They've taken like honestly, Mick Malthouse, David Butterford, Dale Thomas, Peter McKenna, fucking Fasolo, for God's sake. Like the list just goes on and on and on. If you want to wear our jumpers one week, you might as well.
Yeah.
Collingwood Light.
Oh, please! I'd rather the Port Adelaide Prison Buzz. I'll give them permission to wear our jumpers before that fucking scumbag club. Anyway, love you boys.
Yeah.
Take care. Have a good night. I'll talk to you
No worries,
soon.
pal. Catch you later, mate. Thank you. All right. On that note, I'm going to fill up my coffee, guys, and I'll be back.
Mhm.
And let me just put out a big fucking call out to any West Coast guys that are listening in. We're about to go through your team and work out how we're going to beat you. If you want to come on and chat with us, we don't bite. It's all good, man. We'll go through it. So Jesse from the West Coast channel, if you want to jump on, feel free, mate. I'll be back in 1 second, guys. I'm just going to fill up my coffee.
Yep, absolutely.
Mick.
Yep.
Yeah. I tell you what, though, one of the inclusions that I would have actually have liked to seen is instead of obviously Sully, I think, because I'm sort of looking at this team right now, I wouldn't be against having someone like Harry in the side, because I think Harry would have like injected some pace into this side. Because I'm sort of like looking around. I know obviously Bo has his like speed, but just his positioning lately just hasn't been like the greatest. But you've also got like Long in there. Obviously Steele's on the wing, wherever he plays will be where he plays. Sort of just quietly and quickly looking over it, I feel like Harry's pace might have been would have been pretty important.
Yeah, look, Sean, you know what it screams to me? It screams to me that he knows he needs to get a W this weekend to ensure the wild card, knowing that it's going to be quite unlikely that we're going to get a result in the last 2 games of the year. So he's probably just thinking, you know what, I'd rather be Mr. Safe Bets this week, try and get a result over there, which we should. The reality is we should be beating them. We've got more to play for. I understand this is their grand final, and you know they've also got a lot to play for at the end of the day. They're playing at home and they want to get wins for their fans. But look, ultimately, I think the coach knows. Yep, I got to get a result, and that's that. I would not be surprised in these last 2 games of the year, once wildcard's sewn up, and the fact that we can't. It looks like no matter where we finish in that bottom 4 of the 10 now, we're probably going to end up with a final at the G. It's pretty much guaranteed, because the 4 teams are going to be all Victorian. So pretty much guaranteed wherever we finish there, we're going to get a final at the G. I wouldn't be surprised if in those last 2 weeks we might see a Harry Dimatier or, you know, even a Jacob Ryan. Wouldn't be surprised then, because it might be one of those, all right, let's just get the result this week, do what we have to do, and then the last 2 games also just sort of play around with the team a little bit, knowing that the injuries will still be there. Plus, you don't get the week off anymore leading into the wild card final. So you're going to have to manage the players. Who gives a fuck what the AFL says about resting players? Fuck them. You just got to position yourself as best you can for that wild card final. Because ultimately, like we were chatting about last night, it's about positioning yourself now. So at Clubland, all they're bloody thinking about is how do we win the flag. I know everyone here probably thinks that we've got no chance of winning the flag, which is true. But internally at a club, they're always going to plan for, okay, how do we win the flag? And I think they're just going to, these last 2 games, once we've got the result this weekend, these last 2 games are a little bit of a training ground, maybe practice runs, resting players that need to be rested, whatever they need to do. So I think the coaching staff know they've just got to go as best as they can, best possible team this week, and then over the next 2 weeks we might see a little bit of experimentation.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Yeah, go, mate.
Oh no, I was just trying to create some space. Speaking space.
That's all right. Go for it.
Because I'm just trying to like look at the ins and stuff. Because I'm also really excited to see House. Because wouldn't that have been an interesting one if we actually played House at the start of the season?
Of course,
because I mean, God, if you want to talk about a throw at the stumps, like Jesus Christ, that's a throw at the stumps. But again, like I feel like he actually would have been all right. Like especially because and I say this as well because the club is going to know far more than what we do. Because like in terms of they're going to know what they see internally, right? So I feel like that should come at more of a criticism when it comes to players being ready, because the club sees them like on a daily basis pretty much. So for someone like a House, like even like if he's to even, and obviously as a key defender, if he was to star as a key defender, even I feel like even that question even needs to potentially come up. So okay, well, why wasn't he in because he was in no conversations to play till maybe mid-year.
Yeah.
So again, I do think I think we do have a problem at this club where we just don't play or we don't give chances to the players. And again, I'm not saying that someone like House, he should have played every game, but it's a thing, especially at the start of the season, you need to be giving like 3-4 games to some of these guys. Even if they play in their shit, okay, cool, they're shit, or it's okay, they're not up to the level, but these are the things we know that they need to work on, because it's a whole different ball game when you're playing AFL, because when you're playing VFL, you're playing like a poor man's AFL standard, and then some teams when you're playing whatever standalone side, you're playing against the plumbers, the electricians, like any tradie of any kind. Like the standards, I just feel like are very they're just not that close. But then once you get the 3-4 games under your belt, and it's not like, obviously if you're going to play VFL after a few games at AFL, yes, it is being dropped, but you can look at it in the sense where you aren't being dropped because you're a bad footballer. You're being dropped because you're not ready. And that's, I think, the messaging, that messaging needs to be apparent when it comes to, playing these kids. And then, when they aren't ready and you've given them a shot, it also, it's the mental and the emotional aspect of it when you have these kids then being dropped down to the VFL, because they're not going to, and I guess it depends on the kid, obviously, of course, but you would like to think if the kid's got a good character about him, he's not going to go to the VFL and like sook it up. But like if you detail, okay, this is what you're missing, you need to tidy up this, and this, as a part of your game. And then once that's all cleaned up, you can then, have a look at another chance for maybe another run of AFL games down the line. So if you say play rounds 3, 4, and 5 and 6, so that's 4 games in a row, maybe it gets to the point where you get to rounds 15, 16, 17, 18, and it's a certain player goes down with injury, and that's that player's like spot. Okay, cool. He's built up some form. He's playing really well. Like it's even some like a Will Hayes. Like if Will Hayes is getting a consistent game, but then like when he gets dropped because he's say his forward pressure isn't that great, so he needs to go back down to the VFL. It's the fact that we're trying to play these guys and we're putting in the effort to go, hey, no, you're a part of it, you're just not there yet. Where I feel like if we're just, and maybe Hayes is a bit of a bad example, and maybe like Ryan's probably the better example, but like if you have Ryan just being in the VFL all year, like what message does that send to a Ryan? Like I even said at the start of the stream, it's like it just seems like it's a bit of like workplace bullying at this point, because he got his game in 23, and even though he only played a few minutes, but for those that remember, when he actually played those minutes, he actually looked really good. He was dashing off half back, like he was basically John Noble, but 189 centimeters. And people can look at that, maybe see that as a bad thing, but again, if you have a guy that is running off half back, dashing, and yeah, like it's just one of those things where I don't know, it boggles my mind, the fact that, you know, we're seeing all these efforts, and it's, you know, it's just so frustrating when it just feels like the club is letting these players down, because it's not really to the point of the kids at this point. I feel like it's down to the club. And yeah, the club just needs to be better in the way they, because in terms of the development, I feel like we do develop these kids to the point where we're getting to the point where they're ready for AFL games. But you need, say, 20 games of AFL to where you can go, okay, no, this player's now something, and he can now build off that, and he can now build a career. So it's kind of like when you get your debut, you're not going to be the player at like the 100% potential, because you're only going to be, say, 85 or 80%. But it's that extra 15 to 20% where you're only going to get it when you play AFL games. So, yeah.
We've spoke about it a lot this year, and I don't like to talk about, he's not here anymore, Andreas, but one thing he spoke about was, you know, if you've got your best 23 and there's senior guys, so be it. You know, the young players, you'll have to wait sort of attitude. Look, that's fine when you're top of the ladder. You know, I don't mind that attitude when you're top of the ladder. It's different when you're mid-table. When you're mid-table, you can't turn around and be like, "Oh, this is our senior crop, and we're doing great, and tough luck, kiddies." No, that's not how it works. Top of the ladder, you can be that way. When you're mid-table, no, you've got to find improvement and give a go to your list. So, look, I disagree with what he said on that. But again, like, he's not here to defend himself, so I'm not, you know, it's not a thing of back and forth or whatever. So that's fine. But look, like I said, I just don't like having players come in green because of injuries. I would much rather you manage the list a little bit better throughout the year, give opportunities where they're due, even if they're not 100% deserving of the game. Sometimes you just got to be smart. You got to say, okay, we've got this hole to fill. You know what? We could plug it with this senior player, or we could actually give a go to a Noah House, a Joel Crocker, and a Jacob Bryan, a Sam Swaddling earlier than what he did. You know, really, the reality was the only player that got an opportunity really early was Oscar Steen, because it was a glaring position where we were just getting smashed in the ruck. Other areas, he hasn't really been too creative with selection. So I think that's where a lot of the frustration is. A lot of people just think, nah, your best 23 players, you got to pick them every week. I disagree. When you're mid-table, I disagree with that very, very much.
Yeah. All right. So I've got the West Coast team up on the screen at the moment. Wish we could have a West Coast supporter to help us out here. So we're just going to have to fucking wing this. But I'm sure there's knowledgeable people in the chat that can help us out that have been watching some of the games from West Coast. So, yeah, we'll just start with the rucks. Now, Bailey Williams fucking schooled DC last time around. Can't see why that wouldn't happen again. DC has improved though. Interestingly, it could even be the last 3 weeks. Darcy Cameron's been named in our top 2 best players in the last 3 weeks. Not many people. Look, some of us will disagree with that. Me included. Yeah. So, are we safe? Are we safe in the not safe in the knowledge, but are we going to agree that Bailey Williams is going to beat Darcy Cameron?
Oh, yeah. What can you say, Mick? What do you reckon?
Yeah, he's got him.
I feel
I think so.
I will say this. I feel like I'm more confident in recent times because I feel like he
Yep.
has lifted his game.
Yeah.
But if we were to walk away with Williams winning this matchup, then I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Because and it's not that it's like too little, too late, but I feel like he just needs a bit more of a run for us to. Yeah, I feel like we need a bit more of his current form, to like suggest he's going to have a good final series and yeah, because unfortunately, he's had a bit of a disappointing year, DC. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Look, man, this dude in the chat, whoever you are, man. Look, man, we're all got different fucking opinions, man. All right. Why do you have to be nasty, man? Just relax, dude, man. Fuck. We're all Collingwood supporters here. We've got different opinions. Fucking hell. All right, we're all armchair experts, man. You included, man. We all got our fucking, we're not running around. We try our best to fucking, we get our point across, man. Fucking hell, man. No, only you know everything. Yeah, we don't know shit. All right, fair enough.
I don't know about you, but I know everything. So I'm pretty. I mean, that's why they call me Ultimate Greatness.
Exactly,
Look,
Steph.
Yeah.
we
Fuck
never
off.
claim to be experts, we never claim to be experts. We're just passionate supporters. Go week in, week out, and that's it. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, and that's the beauty of
That's it, man.
YouTube and this environment, But I think we can be respectful to one another.
Exactly,
I think that's the most
man.
important thing.
There's a difference with saying Lipinski is a great player, or you can say it, Lipinski is a great player, so eat a bag of dicks, you fucking cocksucker. There's a difference, man. The first one, just stick with the first one, and we can be fucking, it can be all good, man. But that's how it is, man.
That's it. You put yourself out there, and that's just the way it is. But yeah, we want to create an environment that's welcoming to everybody. So let's just stick to the footy and not get personal or anything like that.
All right, let me just fucking block this cunt.
Yeah.
See you later, buddy. Have a nice night.
Yeah, you can really just tell by the name he never had good intentions from the start.
I'll just respond to it because I'll give him the what do you call it? The courtesy. His comment is there's opinions and there's lying, saying you'd be okay with them not playing the best team. Full of shit, all of you. No, I've been pretty consistent with that for a long time. I think the two guys here would agree that I've always said that. I've maintained that. If you're not going to win a flag, you may as well try and build to your next one. For me, it's not. I'm not every week wanting to get the results. Sometimes part about building for a premiership is, building for the future, not just putting your best team on the park every week to win games. Sometimes there's a balance, and that's the art of coaching. And I think we skewer too far in the just pick the best available, most experienced team all the time, and we don't have an eye towards the future enough. This year it's turned a little bit more in the direction that I think a lot of supporters want to see. I don't think I'm on an island by myself. I think a lot of supporters want to see opportunities given to certain guys that may not be 100% ready. And that's just the reality of the situation. I think most of the chat would agree with that we just haven't given enough opportunity. But this year's been a little bit better, and that's the main thing. So, I mean, look, you can disagree. You might want the best team every week on the park and whatnot, but no, that's just not my line of thought. And I'm definitely not lying when I say that.
Yeah, but also as well, like, because I think even Stephen King, his comments the other day, I thought was really interesting when he was sort of questioned about, is he going to have a ton of changes this week because the AFL are clamping down on that? Like, and I'm probably going to fully misquote him, but he says something to the effect of, I'm going to do whatever I need to that is basically going to win us the flag. And that, I think it was more towards like success, because when it comes to like winning flags, like sometimes playing the kids is what's going to get you closer to winning a flag, because a lot of these like teams that they'll have their lists and stuff. Like if you're playing like your Pendleburys, your Sidebottoms, and all that stuff, like I guess they're like established players and all that stuff. But if they're also cooked, like that's where some of these kids will come in and they can even potentially play better, just because these guys they're basically done. They've got no juice to squeeze anymore. So so as much as you can go, oh, but we're playing the kids. Well, we only need to play the kids because they're actually our better players right now. Like, and if we're going to win flags, like I feel like when this whole narrative is, "Oh, play your best teams," like, yeah, our best team is the kids right now. Like Ed Allen and Anderson and Charlie West or probably maybe not Charlie West because McStay's having a better year, but still, like these like players that are coming in or Swaddling, like these players that are coming in, they are a part of the 23. They aren't getting games through charity. Like they're getting games because they are genuinely in their best 23, and sometimes like that's the case. So just because you see a certain player that's say 19, 20, 21 years old, like it doesn't matter how old they are. If they're in their best 23, they're in their best 23. And yeah, it doesn't matter if you're even if Pendlebury is 45 years old, or you've got first year draftee that's a fresh 18-year-old. Like if you're inside our top 23 players, well, yeah, you should be playing. And just because someone has 200 games, that doesn't automatically make you in our top 23 best players.
Exactly. Okay, so their midfield, yeah. From my limited knowledge of the Eagles, and help me out, panelists and chat if you know more than me. I'm looking at Harley Reid, Dersma. Who else we got here? Tim Kelly. To be honest, I know Tim Kelly's played a lot of games, but I still fucking don't know much about him, man. Which sad to say, but fuck, who watches fucking West Coast games, man? But Harley Reid, I know all about him. Yeah.
Wasn't there an article on Marcus Herbert? Apparently, he's wanting to come back to Victoria, or there was interest from Victoria.
I have heard murmurings of that kind.
Yeah.
Because he's probably on a 6-month, isn't he?
Yeah, and he's actually been pretty good for West Coast. He was a part of the Geelong VFL team.
Yeah, and he was a gun. I was hoping we'd pick him up in that mid-season draft.
We picked Coe instead.
But I'm pretty sure he went pretty early. This guy, yeah.
No. So if we didn't pick up Coe, we could have got him.
Oh, okay.
He fell about 3 to 4 picks below Coe.
Okay, but the thing is, we needed Coe, for backup, because we only had one ruckman, really.
Yeah,
we had to make that move. Yeah.
I mean, hindsight's a wonderful thing. We didn't necessarily need him because we haven't played him, and McStay's had the season that he's had. So we've been able to work without him. But I completely agree with that.
Lucas in the chat, do you know much about West Coast? If you do, you can be our West Coast supporter tonight. I've just put a message on the West Coast big footy board. All these guys are previewing their game in their chat there. I just put the link to this and said, "Hey guys, you want to jump on? See what happens, mate." I threw the line in and see what I catch, mate. But look, if any of you are listening, you're more than welcome, man. It'll be, just talk about your team. Like we think you're okay, mate. You're down near the bottom of the ladder, but you got a lot of talented young kids there, man. We just want to know a little bit more about them, and if you want to jump on, let us know, mate. Harley Reid, do you guys want to see Ed Allen or Ned Long take it?
Well, Hayden Skipworth even said in the presser that they're going to have a plan for him. So I'd imagine that means we're going to tag him. So yeah, because we have had more than just Ed Allen, right? Was Gus Anderson? Was he another tagger that we've used in the past?
I don't know if he's tagged, man. I could be wrong. I can't recall it.
Yeah, because obviously Perriman's done it, but I feel like there was another. I mean, maybe the chat can figure it out because, maybe Long. Maybe Long was the other tagger.
Yeah.
Voidoid generation. If you're saying that Ned Long can't go with Reed, not quick enough, I probably agree there. Do you want your boy Ed Allen to do the job on him? I just want to see Allen for once not kind of like have a job of kind of nullifying someone and just playing his own game. I just want to see that happen once, and that's why I've put up the Ned Long. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I reckon they will go with Allen, but I reckon Fly will go with
I
him.
would be happy if they just left it. Like if they just, all right, let's just play a quarter out, see how he goes. Because if Harley Reid has like a 10 disposal game at quarter time, that's not going to kill the game. But if he's got 10 touches at quarter time, that's when you can probably go, okay, let's put Allen to him. So at least you're giving Allen a few minutes where he's a pure midfielder. I could maybe potentially, I mean, not that I'm going to know what they're going to do exactly, but in terms of a supporter, I would like to at least see that because I think Ed being just a pure midfielder, I think for his development is more important than him being a tagger. So I think he's just ready to go. He just needs the quantity because I think he's already got the quality down pat. He just needs games under him now.
Yeah. I think there's an argument to be made that, without Pendles this week and stuff like that, Ed probably plays a more of an expansive game, and he probably gets let go to start the game, maybe sort of play his own game, and then because that's the thing with football, you're not locked into your decisions, so you can always go in to start the game not being defensive, and then look, if Harley Reid starts killing you, you've always got that option. I've always been a big believer in that. You don't need to start a game with your different from an opposition perspective if you're lining up on a Nick Dacos and you're like, no, we're not going to give him a quarter to do what he wants, sort of thing. That's different.
Yeah.
But with a guy like Harley Reid, there's an argument to be made that look, their team's quite poor. Let's not like mask anything here. They're a poor team. They're a developing team. I would love to see Ed just be able to play his own game to start the game, and then you assess things at quarter time, half time, whatever it is. But yeah, I do think Ed's ready to just be unleashed, and it could be the week with no Pendles, and hopefully, I hope so.
Yeah.
I'll throw another name in there. Jack Crisp, could he do a tagging role?
I've lost all faith in Jack Crisp.
I mean, so have I. But I don't know. I was just throwing that name for a conversation.
He probably could. But look, if you're turning him into a tagger, I think it may as well be career curtains, if that's all he can give you. But yeah, look, he probably could go with him. He's got a decent defensive game, Jack Crisp. But yeah, look, again, I honestly, I wouldn't bother until I would let the game play out and then you assess things, because you don't want to. I just don't like having to play to like a team that's worse than us's strengths. I'd much rather we play our game, you beat us. And then okay, if you guys are doing all right, then we can reassess things or whatever. But yeah, I think Ed Allen's ready to be unleashed. I agree with that. Void would love that. He'd love nothing more than seeing Ed just unleashed and left to his own devices. I think he would,
Voidoid,
pull the ball man out.
Mate, Voidoid, we're speaking for you here, mate. Jump on and fucking say it yourself, mate. Mate,
say it to my face.
Say it to my face, boy. Okay. Do you think they have anyone that can play one-on-one with the chosen one, Nicky Boy?
No.
Do they have?
No.
Is there anyone there that's like a tagger of theirs that you guys know of?
Elliot Yo, maybe, but okay.
No.
God, good luck.
Yeah. If Elliot Yo.
Oh, Duggan. I think Duggan's done it in the past, actually.
Yeah.
Mate, if Elliot Yo if Elliot Yeo walked to Nick at the centre bounce and looked like he was going to tag him, I'd be rubbing my hands together if I was Nick. That guy's
Yeah.
the biggest cat. That guy's the biggest cat in the AFL. The most
Mm.
overrated footballer that's been Elliot Yeo.
Yeah.
Uh,
Hotkey in the chat. I asked Hotkey because I remember once I was on one of Hotkey's streams and there was a West Coast supporter on that was smoking, like ripping bongs, like right live on YouTube, and I thought that was pretty. I thought that was pretty impressive, and I reached out to Hotkey. I sent Hotkey a message. Hey Ben, do you remember that guy that was ripping bongs live on your stream, and he was a West Coast supporter? Can you get him to come on tonight? But Hotkey's tried his best, but he can't get through to him. But that's all good.
he's probably ripping a bomb.
Yeah. I think his name is Bailey, but it was ages ago. He was a funny dude. Yeah, he was. Yeah, ripping bongs with dark sunglasses. He was just a cool dude. Mate. Yeah. All right. I'm going to introduce two guests right now. I've got Voidoid Generation and Lucas. Look, man, don't talk about Geelong. I want you to act like a West Coast fan tonight. Just for someone that we can, just give us some knowledge on this West Coast team if you've got any. So I'll just get them both on at the same time. We'll say our preliminary greetings. How are you, fellas? All right.
Hey. I missed I missed the really fiery part of your show because I got a phone call and I saw the chat was going gangbusters, so I haven't heard that half-hour section that I missed.
Yeah. Ultimate Greatness broke the internet. Ultimate Greatness broke the internet when he made a big call. I think Jacob Ryan is better than Dan Houston, and fuck me, man.
I heard that.
They came out like, mate, with knives out. They came out, mate. I've had to block a couple of trolls since then, and then Andreas came on.
My bad, Mick.
And no, it's all good. Andreas came on and said Houston's been our fourth best player this year.
Yeah,
then he tried to back it up with stats, and when he tried to back it up with stats, he's like, "Oh, I got it wrong. I think he's like the sixth or seventh best player." I wouldn't even give him that.
He's not.
Also as well, just on that Jacob Ryan comment, I just want to say that I still believe in it, and that's still my opinion. So I'm just doubling down on that.
Yeah.
So
look, I'm not going to. But that's the thing, all right. I don't agree with you on that, Sean. Yeah, but we can talk to each other. We're like nice people. We don't agree, but other people, it's kind of like you just killed a member of their family after saying something.
I know, right?
Fuck me, man.
No, I genuinely think if you were to put Ryan in the side, he would have more value than Houston currently right now with what Houston is dishing up. Jacob Ryan would add more value.
Yeah,
I said what I said.
Yeah.
I heard it right up to where he said, I heard all the Dan Houston stuff. I was there for that. I thought you're bending the truth about as far as it can go to make that case.
Yeah.
For a fourth best player, but that's okay. He's got some of what he said. I get he rationalized it pretty well. It's never quite as doom and gloom as everybody thinks. I mean, I don't think it's doom and gloom or anything, but the Dan Houston thing for me, it's like still 13 like the Adelaide game. And I was really a huge defender of him like all year last year, and I know that some of you guys saw it a little sooner than I did because I was still holding out that he would work out. And he might work. He will work out at some point. I don't know. But when 13 touches at 53%, when the whole team basically belted Adelaide, I just don't know if that's
Void.
Fault.
Void. It's very simple, and I've always said it. And anyone that wants to disagree with this statement, please do. You cannot make excuses for senior footballers that have played 150, 200 games. You cannot constantly be making excuses week after week. Stats this, that. No. The eye test says he's been poor at the Pies since he got there. That's as simple as that. I don't care. Compare this season to this season. Oh, he's doing this. Oh, he's our fourth best player. No.
Nowhere near it, man.
Please,
Nowhere near our
please,
fourth best player, man.
Well, I don't.
Please.
That's the part I struggle to sort of get, because I like who's he in front of in the ranking? That's what did you guys ascertain that?
Yeah, he said it. Nick, Josh, Chris was in it. Chris hasn't had a good season. He'd be lucky to be in the top 20. Or maybe not. Oh, he might squeeze in actually, but yeah, he hasn't had a good year. I think that was it, because there was 4, wasn't there? There was Nick, Josh.
So is Dan ahead of Jeremy Howe then in terms of rated players?
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Braden Maynard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see. I don't. I think he might be the 4th rated defender out of 4.
Yeah. Lucas, how are you, buddy?
Yeah, how you doing, Mick? I can see you've been in the war zone tonight with some comments there. Jesus, hell, mate, what's been going on?
It's all good, mate. There's 55 people viewing at the moment, and I would be absolutely delighted if anyone is new, if they would click on the subscribe button. And as soon as I said that, it dropped down to 50. Fuck me. But may as well fucking subscribe while you're there, guys, and smash a like and get me up there. I'm on fucking 395. Get me to the 400.
That's it.
And,
Jeez, are you nearly at 400 now?
I am, mate.
Holy shit, that's
Mate.
so fast.
I'm a mover and shaker now, Shawnee, mate.
Yeah.
The things I say
boxes are
now,
coming real soon, then, eh?
the things I say now fucking have a bit of weight now, mate. People are starting to get fucking, mate. What Mick Sacker says, mate.
Damn,
fuck.
I might have to start getting.
I'm catching up to you, mate.
Yeah,
Mate, you keep saying, yeah, I'm going to get back into get back into it, mate. The longer you procrastinate, Shawnee, I'm going to catch you, mate.
Can we just relax on that? Like,
what are you on?
Maybe.
What are you on?
5:30, 5:35.
Fuck.
5.
Ooh.
He's getting to you.
Yeah.
Dick measuring contest.
I know.
Here we go. I know.
Yeah, basically 2.5 versus the 3.5.
Good day, Rocco Mora. As usual, sticking the boots in, but he's a good bloke. This guy's a good bloke. As much as he sticks the boots in, I like him, man. Because that's what I want you to be, mate. Stick the boots in, mate. No problem, pal. So the way, if we go by logic, because fucking Brisbane smashed Hawthorn by 67 points, you guys should beat Hawthorn by fucking 180 points or something. Is that the logic we're going with here?
Oh, look. That was that game last week. Brisbane weren't defending. Nobody was defending.
Yeah.
37 goals were kicked the whole game. That was just one of those ones out of the box.
Yeah.
And Brisbane are one of those teams that think that they can just switch it on when they decide to be serious.
Yeah.
It's a risky proposition going into finals to do that for Brisbane, because it might not work when they want it to.
Yeah. Okay, guys, backstage, I've got a gentleman by the name of Bergs. You guys should all know him. He came on here for the pre-game before the Richmond game. He's a Richmond supporter, but Richmond did play West Coast last week, so he might have some inside knowledge on this West Coast team. I'll get him on in a second. Because I'm trying with these West Coast supporters, but this is the next best thing, and he's a very knowledgeable gentleman. He's been going on the Warbles shows, the opposition, the Oppo Convo shows that he's been having on Tuesday nights. He's a fixture there with Hotkey and Lucas and Voidoid and Ray. I'll get Bergs on. I'll see if he can tell us anything about this West Coast team. Good day, Bergs. How are you, mate?
Good, mate. How are you?
Fantastic, mate. Fantastic.
Great. Thanks for having me. Maddie just contacted me and said you were keen to have a chat. So yeah, happy to jump in. Love talking footy.
Beautiful, man.
Hey,
You
Bergs.
would have watched. Yep. You would have watched this game. Your team defeat this team last week. Now
Yes.
they missed a shitload of shots, didn't they? They was
Yeah, they were 4 shots. They were. But they just, to be perfectly honest, they never win even with their they just didn't
Berg.
win.
Sorry, Bergs. We can barely
Yeah.
hear. There's something going on with your. Try again. Try to talk again. We'll see how it goes.
A bit of lag. He sounds like a robot, unfortunately.
Yeah. All right. Bergs, maybe just log out and then come straight back in. We'll see how we go because we could barely hear anything from you, mate.
Hey, Rocco Moro's from Perth, isn't he?
Yes.
He should be our West Coast respondent if we can't get Bergs back on.
Rocco Mora, you're a fucking disgrace, mate, because born and bred in Perth and you broke for fucking Carlton. Come on, dude. You should be a West Coast fan or a Freo fan. Come on, mate. You hate as if you hate them more than us, mate. Come on.
Yeah, he's talking shit, mate. Talking shit. These Carlton.
I love how like the worst thing that was said tonight was that Jacob Ryan's better than Dan Houston.
You broke the internet with that one, mate. All right. So, Voidoid and Lucas, do you think West Coast have got anyone that can run with Nick?
Duggan's done a tagging. I actually am one of probably the rare neutrals that do watch West Coast a couple of games. Dugan has done a tagging role in the past. I agree with age. If Elliot goes on Nick Dacos, he's going to have an absolute field day. Nick Dacos, that's laughable. Because Elliot, he's not the player that he was 3-4 years ago. He's washed. I don't know why he's in this team. But yeah, Liam Duggan could definitely do that role.
Yeah.
But he's not really an in and out tagger, to be honest. I still think Nick's going to have a lot of the ball, probably 30 plus again. Just what you said with Bergs about West Coast. Yeah, they've got good forwards. Waterman's a good forward. He'll have 5-6 shots a game on goal.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, his accuracy is pretty poor, very poor.
It won't be on Sunday. He won't miss on Sunday. It's guaranteed.
But I think Dersma's actually their best forward. I like Dersma. Very good player, very good contested marker as well. Tim Kelly, though he hasn't been the same player since he left Geelong, and I loved Tim Kelly when he was at Geelong. He's had a good year. He's had probably one of his best years at West Coast. He's back to where he's he's back on par with his career best. He's averaging a lot more with the ball than previous years, so that's good to see. Bailey Williams, he's a jumper. He works a lot around the ground, so it's probably going to test out Cameron. But the real thing I think they'll focus on is their starts. The games that they've played at home, especially against Crows, who in the top 4 or fifth now. North Melbourne, they had a shocker there. Footscray, their starts are poor, but they're actually very competitive. Very competitive. They were very competitive against Brisbane. They only lost by 5-6 goals up in Perth, but their starts are the problem. If they start better, they could have probably arguably bet the Crows. They could have arguably bet North Melbourne. They could have bet Footscray. They could have bet Port Adelaide. Port Adelaide went down there and actually bet them, and again they didn't win that quarter. So their first quarters are a huge problem. But when they get it together at home, they can be very dangerous. They can put on 5-6 goals in a row. They're a very dangerous team. But if Collingwood can start well, if they can win the first quarter, Collingwood, by
Yep.
I don't know 2-3 goals, I think Collingwood will do enough. So I think
Yep.
that first quarter is very, very crucial, and it depends on the start West Coast get. If they lead by quarter time by 15, 20 points, I reckon you're in big trouble because they're very competitive at home, not so much away. They're a terrible team away.
Yep.
But at home they're very, very different. So I reckon you probably need to win that first quarter. And stay in front, and I think you'll be okay. But when they get momentum at home, very hard to stop.
Yeah. And our first quarters in the last 2 weeks have been fucking deplorable, mate. So something's got to change there. I'm going to try again with Bergs. I've got him backstage again. We'll see how we go now.
How's my volume now?
I'm actually going to head off, Mick, because I'm in the city and I have to get home. I'm doing it, but if I could plug my late night stream, if that's all right with you.
Go, Lucas.
Yeah, so after I'll wait until you're done, Mick, and when I get home, I'm in the city right now. I'm going to do my late night stream, so hopefully Matt comes on. Chris, he said he was going to come on, so hopefully you guys can come on and come to the late night stream. And
no worries.
And thank you for that. Thanks for having me on, Mick. Appreciate it. There's some knowledge. I'll let Bergs say the rest.
No worries. Thanks, Lucas. Thanks, mate. Catch you later. Bergs, how are you, mate?
All right, can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah, nice and clear, mate.
Hello.
Yep, we can hear you, mate. Can you hear us? No, he dropped out.
Nick,
yeah.
If he turns the camera off, it might help his internet.
Yeah. Okay.
He just goes audio only.
Matt, you're in dialogue with Bergs through text. Can you just let him know just to come on without the camera? See if that works, mate. Thanks, Matt. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So yeah. Now our midfield. We haven't got Geordie there. So Ed Allen, Nick Dacos, Swadley. Where are we looking at? Where do we think he's going to be playing in this game? Earlier we said maybe off half back. I'd love to see him in the guts.
Play him in the middle. He's playing against other, like a lot of other young kids, almost his own age. We don't have a lot of accumulators in the midfield, so we need a guy like him to get it 30 times in the middle.
Yeah,
I mean, because Ed's doing a run with, and Ed's only going to hit somewhere between 17 and 21 touches. We need to get another guy in there who's going to get 30 plus.
Yeah.
And he's just not going to find that much of the football, I don't think, on the wing.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, he's got that uncanny ability. He's a ball getter, yeah? And he's probably been like that his whole life as a junior, yeah? Some players just have it. They just get the ball, yeah? And you don't even notice it. And then you look at their stats, they've got fucking 15 possessions already after, a quarter and a half. And it's like, what the fuck's going on? I haven't even noticed him touch that many times. And I've noticed that in the VFL too, when you watch Swadley. Sometimes you don't notice. And then you look at the stats and it's like, fuck, he's got 25. You're kidding me. So he's just got that ability, mate, to get the ball, man. And that's gold, man. And for someone, that young to have that ability, it's a great thing, and that's why we're all saying he's going to be a 200 plus gamer, mate. And he's playing at his home state too. Go Void. Sorry.
No, my fault, mate.
Yeah.
There was a passage a few weeks ago where it was Nick, Ed, and Swadling involved in it down the corridor. That's our mix, and we should try that out. And then if you want to chuck Josh in there a little bit as well, that's a very, very speedy midfield, and I don't know if I want to see Ned Long in there so much. But you can hide him somewhere else.
But where are you going to hide him, mate? He's not a forward. We've tried that. He probably had that one good game as a forward, I reckon. I can't remember which game it was. It was about 3 or 4 weeks back. But apart from that, man,
Yeah, I don't know. Because even Sidey, I was listening before. I think he can only play forward if he floats down there. If you leave him as a permanent forward, I think he's not going to do it very well for a whole game.
Yeah.
So I think that they're rebounding flankers or whoever his opponent is. They're gonna run the ball out of there, and he's not going to be able to stop them or catch them.
Yep, you're not like earlier in the show. We were saying put Sidey up forward, and in the chat you were very vociferous in saying he'll get found out. It's probably a good ploy just to put him there, sort of like half quarter bursts or for 1 quarter or something, or a half, yeah. But yeah, the whole game.
No, he won't. He won't. The thing is, he probably just shouldn't be in the team.
Yeah,
and I think out of every position he could play, that's probably the best, like the lesser of 3 or 4 evils.
Yeah,
but I still. Yeah, when he does go forward, I notice he just kind of floats down as a loose player. I think if he had an opponent, you want speed in the high half forward position or in the forward pocket. You still need somebody who's fleet of foot and agile. Don't know. Yeah, what I mean, geez, might as well. I'd rather him there than at halfback.
Yeah. I'm going to give Bergs another go. He's going to come on without his camera. Hopefully that improves things. We'll see how we go.
Hopefully.
G'day, Bergs.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can, Bergs. Can you hear us?
Yeah, absolutely. Crystal clear. So we've got there in the end.
Beautiful, mate. How are you this evening?
I'm good, mate. I just watched the Hawthorn Abomination. My God, Chol and Lewis. I've been saying it for weeks. They're not going to get the job done, and they're done. They're just put a line through them. They're cooked. No good. Putrid.
Well.
Can't win it at all.
Yeah.
Not even getting near to it. Chol had 3 touches for a game of footy.
Well, fuck.
Yeah. Anyway, so are we going to attack this West Coast Collingwood game?
Yes, we are, mate. We are. We've already ascertained that Bailey Williams will probably win the ruck against Darcy Cameron.
Yep.
We've talked about the midfield. Harley Reid. We'd like to see Ed Allen go on him or something. We're trying to work out, have they got someone that can run with Nick Dacos? And some people talked up Duggan. From your watching of them last week, can you see anyone that can take on Nick?
No, I think you don't even have to worry about that. Their biggest issue, their key backs, Tyler Young and Rhett Bazzo, just aren't good enough. So Membry and McStay will get hold of them. No problem at all there. Too much experience. And so all you've got to do is go inside 50 half the amount of times as them, and you'll win by 7 or 8 goals. They've got weakness everywhere. Like it's just, they're just not much chop. Like Richmond beat them, for Christ's sake. I love my Tigers, but let's be honest. We ain't beating teams at the moment with so many kids and so many of our good kids out. I watched very closely last week, and they've got some nice types in Shanahan. I really like him, but they played Dersma in the wrong spot. They played him wing last week, and he took they were screaming for him to go forward, and they put him forward with like 10 minutes to go, and he took a mark and kicked a goal, and it was too late. Like it was just like, I'm thinking, Minnie, what are you doing? Like Jesus, he should have been there halfway through the second quarter, like creating havoc. But they give the ball to this guy Marcus Herbert. I don't know. He's the flavour of the month, a little bit like Humphrey was at Geelong a couple of years ago, but he ain't no great shakes. Baker's back. That'll help him. Because he gives them so much stability and gives them he gives them a coach on the ground. But they're weak in so many areas. I just think your all-round polish gets them by, I'd say Collingwood by 40. Pretty easy. Pretty comfortably. I don't think it's a game that you got to worry too much about. Wow. And honestly, last Kelly, I know the other guy just left and he was on talking up Kelly. I thought Kelly was piss poor, and I thought Elliot Yeo was fantastic. Elliot Yeo, if I was going to send a player to anyone, I wouldn't even send him to Reed because no one can stop Reed, but you can probably stop Elliot Yeo. And if you stop Elliot Yeo, that just takes all their grunt away. Like he was awesome last week. His effort was huge. He was very good. So but apart from that, they've got quality kids in Duff Tyler and Dersma, but they're babies, right? They're 8 games in. They're not going to hurt. Like they're going to be okay, and they're going to be great in a few years. But they don't have enough strength all around the ground for you guys. So.
Yeah, I've been looking at some West Coast forums and seeing what they are saying, and a lot of them are saying they only lost that game last week because they kicked like shit. Would you agree with that, Bergs?
Oh, look, they kicked poorly, and when they should have put pressure on, they did. But like they gave Richmond so many looks that they beat them. Like if they give Collingwood any amount of looks, they're going to get beat again, and they're going to get beat every week if they give that many looks. What they're doing is I watched Fly when he left Richmond and went to Collingwood, and his whole game plan was take the ball on through the corridor, kick through the corridor, and if you don't hit him, you'll turn it over, but you'll learn from those mistakes. In the first couple of years, that's what he did, and they turned it over and they got punished going back the other way, but then they got better kicking. West Coast are doing the same shit, right, under Mini. They're going into the corridor at 1,000,000 miles an hour off half back, and they're missing targets. So the Collingwood midfield pressure, if you pressure up on them when they go inside, they're going to turn it over and you're going to have a field day, right? So they're going to – I know why they're doing what they're doing, and they're going to get better at it, but it's not just yet. You know what I mean? So understand what they're going to try. They're going to go inside all the time. They're going to look to go inside with brave kicks, but they just haven't got that skill execution yet. Like, it'll come.
Yeah. But having said that, it could all work out for them too. Yeah, it happens sometimes. They're a young team, and they're being asked to take these risks, and that's what's happening with Carlton. Fraser's just telling him to take a punt, and sometimes they shit the bed, and against us they were giving it straight back to us all night. But against Brisbane, everything went perfectly, mate.
Brisbane just rolled over too. Like they don't like Brisbane this year are a completely different animal. They're pouncing late in the year, and if they roll up to an away game and it's not going their way, they just go, it's too hard now to fight back. So we'll just give it up. We'll just worry about next week. And that's what they're doing. Like, and I watched it last week. They just switched off halfway through the third quarter, and they go, okay, we can't win now, so we'll just roll over, and we'll be there for next week. And my God, they were there for next week tonight.
Yeah.
So it's a different Brisbane mentality. Like they're going for three flags in a row. So I don't underestimate what they're doing and what their senior players' mentality is. It's they're on tonight.
And they did have a few injuries last week too. They had to put Hipwood back up at back because they had no tall backs, and that's why fucking Kemp got off the leash and kicked 5 goals. And all the Carlton supporters one week they're saying, "Oh, Kemp's fucking shit, delist him," and now they all fucking love him. Mate.
Well, if Kemp's kicking 5 goals against Brisbane, they're not going that up. Just an ordinary conveyance. But look, it is what it is. West Coast, they're a work in progress. I think they've got some good players. They're going okay, but Pies. I just saw a thing come up. Chris Talbot, Pies by 45. Yeah, I reckon that's about right. That's about my margin.
Yeah. Chrissy Talbot, mate. How many predictions are you going to put, mate? You're killing me here, mate. I've got to write these down to put them in the vault, mate.
There's that many there. Like Nick Dacos 40. Houston 15 plus a goal. Like Jesus.
But the thing is, when you put...
I'm going to ask you something, you Collingwood blokes. Puncher.
Yep.
Where are we on Puncher?
We reckon he's a good thing, Bergs.
Needs to hit the gym. That's
I
about
watched
it.
him. I'd heard you guys talking him up a few weeks ago, and I watched him. It might have been against us or against the Tigers or against someone else, but oh God, he's skinny. He's just... He was like Dave Asprey when he got to my place, 74 kilos. He just needed to eat. This kid needs to
Yeah.
put on 15, and it'll only take a couple of years. But he did some really nice things the game I watched. Come off his opponent, attack the ball hard, put his body on the line. There's just not much body to put on the line. So,
Yeah.
he needs a bit of weight. But, I like him. I got to say, I can see what you're seeing him.
Yeah. And now we're going to ask him to do an even harder task because Jeremy Howe's out, and he's our second tall back there.
Yeah,
And-
it's hard. Yeah.
Yeah, and like who have they got? So Waterman's their main guy. Who's the
Yeah.
other one? Is it
They got
Shanahan?
Shanahan. Shanahan's good, but I'm not sure you'd want Puncher to be up the ground. Like Shanahan will play centre half forward, so I'm not sure you'll want him to be up the ground.
Yeah.
So it's interesting how you cover off because they've got Duff Tyler 2 forward, so they've kind of got 3 talls.
Yeah.
So I just cut them off at the pass. I'll be more worried about what's going to happen at the other end with Tyler Young and Bazzo trying to defend your forwards.
Yeah. So you're a big McStay fan, as we all are now. A lot of us were bagging him at the start of the year, but fuck, mate, he's like we're seeing numbers like he's like the second best forward this year or something like that.
Well, this is centre half playing forward,
Yeah.
so you could have an All-Australian centre half back if you put him back, but you've got no forward, so you're playing forward. And he's been a fucking imposter for 10 years because he's been getting away with playing forward for 10 years. Like every defender wants to play forward, and he's getting away with it at AFL level. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
His numbers are good, and he presents. He makes the contest. He can't do much more than he's been doing. Membry, well, it'll be his last year, won't it? Surely, Membry, I don't know.
Well, he had a 6-week stretch where he was kicking 2s and 3s. He had a shit one last week. He's playing for a contract. I don't want to see him next year, but I reckon if these next 3 games are the big ones, and obviously if we make wildcard, if he has a good one there, he might get himself another year.
I think that's already happened. I think didn't that get announced this week that they've
he's got a contract
for 1 more year? I think. Did I read that right? I know it was Howe and one other player. I forget. Thought it might have been him.
Someone in the chat will confirm that.
Looking at your list, that wouldn't surprise me because there's not much else there, is there? Unless you go out and sign one of those King boys or do something, your forward line's not potent with key tall forwards. So.
Yeah.
Now that would kind of help his causes.
Yeah. Shawnee, you were going to say something?
I was just going to say because the only key forward I'll probably go after now because there's not really much to pick is Jake Riccardi. Bergs, do you rate him at all?
Yeah, I like him. I like him. Yeah. I'm just like I like Riccardi, but I like Amadi too. There's a few. McLean at Sydney. There's a few that you could grab. Like Sydney have got too many. Taking Charlie, they needed a defender and they took Curnow. It didn't make any sense to me. They already had McLean and McDonald and Amadi. I didn't and they all can take a mark or bring the ball to ground. They're not outmarked very often, so it didn't make sense to me to get Charlie. Now they've got him and he's kicking goals and it's great, but is your team any better? I'm not so sure. So I reckon you can grab one of them. They've got to give up one of them. So I think that's a chance, and Riccardi's a chance, I reckon.
But Riccardi's he's not like a super tall fucking 200 centimetre type, is he?
No,
is he?
He's
198. I stand corrected.
Riccardi's big. Riccardi's big.
Yeah. Okay, all right.
It's kind of funny because when you watch him play, I feel like that's where it goes wrong. Where you watch him play and he plays like he's 194, he plays a bit like a tad undersized. But no, because every time I look at his height, I always have to remind myself that he's 198.
So my question,
because I think it was his.
My question to you then is, I watched Riccardi and I'd love to see him being the number one banana and how he plays, because he
Mhm.
never is. He's always the
Yep.
third tall forward, and he's
Yeah.
got to play a role then, and he never gets to do what he potentially could do. So
Yep.
I agree with you in that I'd love to see someone grab him and make him the guy out of the goal square, because I think he would become a completely different player if he did that.
Yeah, because especially with Buller just hasn't like worked out to what we wanted him to be.
Yeah.
So I think if we're to go get Riccardi, that's essentially the same sort of type of role that he'd probably be playing to what Buller was this year.
Yeah.
And whether if we make Buller a defender or we persist with him being a forward, we'll have to see next year. But yeah, no, Riccardi, yeah, because in
How's
terms of like
Riccardi gone
Riccardi,
this year? How's he gone this year? Has he kicked goals?
He
not
hasn't
really
played a lot
too
of footy.
sure.
He's
Yeah,
never
I'm not
really-
too sure.
He's never really kicked. He's never kicked more than 25-ish in a season. Really, about under 30 at least. It is.
Yeah, but when you're playing the role of third tall forward, that's about all you're going to get. So,
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
He's come behind Hogan and what's a good kid? A good young kid. Got one like Logan Morris. What's his name? Can't think of his name.
Yeah.
They've got a Logan Morris type at GWS.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Hozuski?
Grzuski. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No. An Aussie kid, 6'5", blonde hair, catches everything, kicks goals from anywhere. He's a good player.
Aaron Cadman.
That's him. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they've got Cadman and Hogan already when Hogan's in. So, like, you feel for Riccardi a little bit. Like, where's he going? Like, what's his role? If I'm Riccardi, I'm confused. You know, like those guys are in your space all the time. You're competing for space. You only get the ball comes in, like ball goes inside 50, 30 times. It's coming to you like 6. So if you win it 2 or 3, you're going to kick 1 or 2 goals, and that's what he kicks 25. Like you'd argue that he's playing his role, like when he's in.
Yeah.
So it's hard.
Yeah.
It becomes the main focus. All of a sudden, you're getting the ball kicked you all the time. It's different. You become the Logan Morris, where you're getting more opportunities. And I think for Collingwood, go after Jake Riccardi. Boom. And
So he's played 9 games and he's kicked 14 goals.
Yeah. So he's averaging 1.5 goals a game. Like in a 24 game season, that's 36 goals. You're taking that,
100%.
You're taking that.
Yeah.
That's a really good one, I reckon. Riccardi.
Yeah.
Riccardi, for me, I'd go for McLean or McDonald. I reckon they give you McDonald, Sydney, but I reckon you get McLean. McLean's in and out because of those 3. They always tend to play Amati, Curnow, and McDonald over McLean. And McLean comes in when there's an injury. I like McLean. Relief hit in the ruck, and he can play forward and he kicks goals. Yeah, he'll kick 20, 30, no problem.
He's also done a bit of ruck as well. I'm just looking at Riccardi's stats right now. He's averaged 6.4 hit outs. The year before he was averaging 7. So if you want a bit of a chop out, that's not too bad. So it makes McStay
it's whether he's getting them inside 50. Like if your ruck's inside 50, that's all he could be doing. I haven't seen Riccardi go to the centre bounce too many times.
Yeah, that's true too.
Yeah. So stats can be very misleading sometimes, lads.
Yeah, don't get me started. Yeah, absolutely.
How gettable is Riccardi? What's his situation?
Is out of contract, and I personally I think he's gone. Like he's out of contract, and he's only played 9 games, and he's been playing a lot of VFL. So
then he could. He's gettable.
No, he's been injured all year, nearly.
He's been injured a lot, I think.
Yeah,
he had an injury.
He hasn't been in the VFL.
Yeah. All right. All right. Back to this game. So Bergs. So you're telling me there's no one in this West Coast back line that can handle McStay, Membry, and Charlie West?
I think. Well, Tyler Young was from Richmond, so I know him really well, and he's a robot. He's he's got no ground skills, and he's a tractor, so he's just a straight line player that defends and punches, and when the ball hits the ground, he's got no lateral movement. So someone like Timmy will run him around everywhere if he gets Timmy. The other guy, Batso, Bazzo, he's going to be a player, but he's just too raw. So if he stands McStay will beat him with experience in at least 3 contests and kick 3 goals. So I just think you've got him covered, and I think they're just too inexperienced. That's all. Like Brady Hoff, the kid Herbert will try and run off, and he just doesn't play on anyone off halfback, and he gets like 30, and they want the ball in his hands all the time. But he's not that. Like, he kicks okay, but he's not that good a distributor that you want to give him the ball all the time. Like, he just runs hard. Yeah, for me, they're just they've got too many weaknesses. Poor many shuffling deck chairs on the Titanic, I think, a little bit.
Yeah. I think we're very pessimistic with our performance from last week, which was absolute fucking,
Who got you last week? Remind me here.
Geelong killed us. They ended up winning by 20-something, but they should have won. They were up by fucking 50-something. And, they had us at arm's length the whole game. The game was lost halfway through the second, and it was just ridiculous. It was really hard beating there. With such a big crowd, and it was really eerie because we had no real chance as a fan base to get behind us because we just shit the bed so quickly, and our comeback was not inspiring at all because we were just so far back.
But there's a significant difference between like the top 4, the next 4, and the next 4, and you're like, for me, I look at Collingwood, and you're in the below 8 to 12 category, and you're trying to jump up, but it's a fair jump up to Geelong, who have been around for ages, they're experienced, and you look at your team now and you've got like 8 to 10 really young kids in the team. There's just too much experience in the Geelong team, right? So, like, you can't get too far ahead of yourself. You can be going okay, and then all of a sudden you come up against a team and you go, well, let's look at games played, years of age. We're probably not going to win this one. So I think it's about tempering your expectations a little bit. I didn't think you had much of a chance last week, but you guys obviously thought you had a chance and then were disappointed, and that's okay because you're the team, you're the supporters, and you support them, so that you get your hopes up. But like, sometimes you've got to be a little bit realistic. So this week you've got West Coast, and you should smash them.
Yeah. Well, we should, but then again, the home ground advantage too. It's probably going to be like plus 25 degrees up there. They're used to those
Tell me
conditions.
something. Is there a team that travels better than Collingwood?
No, we're the best. Yeah.
Yeah, you know why you're the best? Because you travel twice every millennium. I love it. You are, but you do travel well. You get yourself up for away games, and like I always get Collingwood away games. Like away games, even when you think they're the underdog, they'll get you. Like they come hard in away games.
Yeah. Rocco Moro in the chat. What's the weather going to be like? You're a Perth boy. What's the weather going to be like on Sunday, mate? And I know you're a Carlton fan, so don't fucking talk shit, man. Just tell us the fucking truth, mate. You're telling us it's raining, Don't tell us it's rain, Don't fucking piss on our backs and tell us it's raining, mate.
I thought it was pockets.
What was that?
Yeah, I thought it was pockets because every time I've heard that saying, it was always like pockets because it was an old saying. Because I remember I used to.
Oh, yeah. I don't know what to say.
When I was in like high school.
Yeah.
Because every time I said it in like school and stuff, everyone would look at me like sideways and be like, "Who the fuck is this?"
They're both
because apparently it's like a really old saying. So when I said it in school like 15 years ago, people were looking at me about, "Who the fuck is this guy?"
You guys are both right. They're both separate sayings.
Okay.
Oh, there you go. You learn something new every day.
Yeah. All right. After this bit of analysis of their team from the knowledge we've kind of got from. Here we go. Rocco Mora, 80% chance of rain at 5 to 10 mil on Sunday. There you go. It could be a fucking slog in the wet, mate. Does that help us, you reckon?
Nah.
Yeah, I was about to say because we're probably more of a disposal first sort of side when it gets scrappy. Unless if you have like an Anderson to come in and be that bull, and if he has a breakout game, then maybe that helps. But I mean, it won't be the difference between winning or losing, though. You would think even with it being wet, we still take the win. But yeah, it just means that any guys that want to put their head over it, it'll just be an advantage for them.
Yeah. All right, so we've analysed this West Coast team. Has it altered our tips or anything like that? Like I'm still going us to win by 24. Listening to Bergs, I'm a little bit more confident now, but still wouldn't be surprised if we shit the bed. Go Bergs.
You can't lose against them. They couldn't beat Richmond. They're going to beat Collingwood. We haven't been in one game against Collingwood for fucking 2 years. And sorry, it's just not going to happen. What will happen is if it's a shit show in the wet, right into it because they stick their head over it and they'll crack in at home, right? So then it becomes just a shit show and who wants it the most. And they'll think they've got a chance because you've got a lot of light, skinny kids that could get pushed off a wet weather ball, right? So that's where it changes a little bit. But I'm still on Collingwood. Like, if it's pissing down rain, it's Collingwood by 12, and if it's dry, it's Collingwood by 40.
Yeah. Okay. All right. People in the chat, I haven't got everyone's tips yet. I've got Voids, I've got Ricks, I've got Mellows, I've got Chrissy Talbots, I've got Josh's. Throw them in, guys. Give us your tips and predictions for the game on Sunday. And while I ask you guys, I'll ask the guys on the panel. How are you feeling, Age? What's your tip and prediction?
You know what, Mick? Yeah, last night I tipped West Coast purely simply because I didn't see the final teams and I was just worried about too much inexperience. Even though I do want to see that, I was worried about it. I actually don't mind the side that's been settled. I just feel like we're gonna, like I mentioned an hour or so ago, I think Fly knows, look, we need one more win. The next 2 weeks are unlikely to get results. I think they're going to go into this game throwing everything at it, try and get the W. Look, I've turned. I think we'll win. I think you're probably looking at a 2 to 3 goal win. I think I'd love Bergs to be right. 40 sort of points. That's not going to happen, Bergs. I'll tell you now, that won't happen. Look, let's go Pies by 2 goals. And in terms of a great performance, geez, I reckon Nick could get off the chain tomorrow night. It could be one of those nights that
50?
Nick,
50?
Let's go 43.
All right. Okay. Ultimate greatness. Shorty?
Sorry, it helps when you turn the mic on. So normally what I've been doing is I've been having my results, I've been paying tribute to jumper numbers. So because this week I want to give a tribute to Jacob Ryan. So I'll go Pies by 24 points. I feel like that's pretty fitting.
Yep.
And I'll go Swaddling and Allen to combine for 50 disposals and 2 goals. So I'll kick a goal each, and they'll get hopefully 25 disposals each. But I'll do a combined 50.
I've got more chance of winning Test Lotto, I reckon.
We'll see.
While we got you here, Bergs, let's talk about the Tigers, mate. Are you a lot of Tigers supporters are starting to get a bit on Uze. A lot of them are starting to say, "Fuck, mate, what's going on?" Are you one of those?
Nah, not at all. He's
No?
flying. He's
You're
one
backing him in. Yeah.
He's one in a row. He's on fire. He's just like, look, like we've sacked our high performance guy. We've had so many injuries, and I'm not blaming injuries, but we haven't got games into our better kids. We've got 2 quality tall forwards in Armstrong and Jonty Fall, and they just haven't been off the park. Like anyone who watched Sammy Layla play last week, if like during the week I'm reading stuff about Murphy Reid, did Richmond fuck up? I can tell you now, they didn't fuck up. Everything I watched about this kid last week, he's fucking Dusty incarnated, right? Murphy Reid's killing it, and he's going really nice, and he's had injury-free time, and he's developed in that. But he's not in the same fucking ballpark as Sammy Layla. Like, not even close. Not even close. And I love Murphy Reid. He's killing it, right? And he runs hard. He's a different type of player. Sammy's a 20 possession, and Dusty was too. He was a 20 possession player early in his career that kicked 3 or 4 and had impact on games. And then in his halcyon year, he had 2 or 3 years where he was Brownlow ready, and that's when he had 35 and went into the midfield. And Sammy will be exactly the same type of player. He kicked that goal last week, and he looked exactly like him. I'm looking, I'm going, fuck me. They wonder why they draw comparisons on this kid. He shrugged Starcevic for fuck's sake, and he's 20. He shrugged him like he was nothing and kicked the goal. And I'm looking, I'm going, the Tigers are going to be all right. They just need a little bit of time, and they need a little bit of continuity to get the kids in. Be okay. But next year is the year. So for next year, if they get all their ducks in a row and Smiley's back and they're all playing, then they need to finish 12th for Uze to be going, okay, now we're okay, right? So, and they need to go out and win a decent recruit. They need to take the number 1 draft pick or number 2 draft pick, and they either grab the tall guy or they grab Butters or they do something. But for me, for me right now, there's one team. They're not even in the conversation for Butters, but there's one team needs Butters and they can win a flag, and it's Melbourne. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with their salary cap or what's going on there, but you put Butters in Melbourne's midfield with Cozzy, fuck me. They are going to go close. That's the player that Melbourne need, and they're not even in the conversations. I don't understand it. I'm watching them every week get better and better and better, and they're probably 5th or 6th best now, but that's what they need. So it's funny, isn't it? It's funny. Sorry, I'm transgressing. You asked me about my Tigers. I'm not a Uze basher, but I was a Dimmer basher. I didn't think Dimmer had the juice, and I still don't think he's got the juice. What they did with Richmond was they surrounded him with good people and changed our entire game plan, and Dimmer was the beneficiary of it. And I think now you're seeing the true Dimmer because he hasn't got those people around him.
100%.
That's Sam Lawler now. How surreal must it be for you, mate? Not only does he play similar to Dusty with the don't argues and all that, and the dynamic plays, in the forward 50, he fucking looks like him as well. And it's kind of what the fuck's going on, mate? They just got another Dusty? Fuck off.
They just cloned him.
He does something that Dusty could never do, and that is he marks really well above his height. Dusty could never do that. Dusty would body push off and take a chest mark in the goal square. But this kid jumps early, jumps into packs. He can take a mark up well above his height. He's exciting. And the other kid we got, Taj Houghton, is very exciting too. So we've got another Shea Bolton type. So they're going to be okay. It's just going to take time. I much prefer the formula of winning 3, going back down, bottoming out, building up again, than Geelong, who compete every year and win 4 flags in 60 years. I can't have the Cats. We're fantastic. We're competitive every year. No, you just fucking tease your supporters every year. You don't fucking win. You just they go, we've won 3 in 20 years. So you've also won 3 in fucking 60 years. Fucking hell. Give me a
Now, From the last time I spoke to you, Bergs, you're a big advocate of bottoming out and accumulating early picks, and
Yeah.
being bottom four for a couple of 2, 3, 4
Yeah.
years maybe, and then giving it another shake with a list of young guys that are growing up together. You're now if you would ask us on the panel, don't mean to speak for the other guys on the panel, but I'll speak for myself. I'm that guy I'm that type that you just fucking bagged, like the Geelong types, the top up types.
Yeah.
That's what I want
Yeah.
to see Collingwood do: top up and go again. I don't
Yeah.
want to see us bottom out. Are we? Do you think we're thinking things the wrong way?
Yeah.
Do you think?
I think you're destined for mediocrity if you do that. You're destined for 4 to 8 for the rest of your life if you do that. Like,
Yeah.
it's really hard. It's there's so many teams.
Yeah.
There's so many conditions. There's so many permutation and combination. Now you got Tassie coming in, and you're getting shuttled back down the line. It's so fucking difficult to just stay competitive every year. I think you've got to go down and rise back up. But when you rise back up, you got to rise back up with purpose. And I think like Geelong are just there all the time. And let's be honest, they win a flag when other teams fuck up. That's when they win a flag. When a bit off, and that's when they win a flag. But like Dangerfield goes, "Oh, we compete every year. We compete every year." Yeah, but you don't fucking win. So what's the fucking point? Like Richmond played in 3 grand finals and won them all. God bless their cotton socks. You get up there, you fucking win. Don't fuck up, right?
Yeah.
Just fucking win. Like in Brisbane, they're doing it. They've been around for a while, but now they're doing it. And like, if Freo don't win, I hope Brisbane fucking win and win a 3-peat and go, fuck. They've had a fucking era that's just unbelievable, right?
Yeah.
So you go down, you come up. Like Brisbane was shit for a long time. Like when they sent Fagan up there and that, they were terrible, right? People forget. They were fucking shocking. And Hawthorn was shocking. So if you're going to come up, win. My biggest criticism of Hawthorn, they ain't winning anything. Like they've come up, but they ain't winning anything because their 3 tall forwards are no good. Gunston's too old. Like I love him, he's a good player. But Lewis and Chol are cats. So unless they go and get King or go and get someone that's going to change that, and I think their midfield talent's ordinary as well. Like you get past Newcomb and a couple of them, and they're pretty weak. So tonight they just got even Mitch Day was ordinary tonight. Like the heat goes on and they just struggle a little bit. They're light. Hawthorn midfield, light bodies. They get on the outside and they're okay, but they're light bodies. They can't, like Lockie Neal and those guys were smashing them. So Dunkley were belting them. So it's interesting footy. Like I love the permutations and combinations, but it's interesting you said about do you have to go down and come up. I think it's better if you do, as long as you come up with purpose. And good recruiting. But Collingwood, you want to top up because you want to. But that's because you're a supporter and you want to stay relevant, right?
Yeah.
You want the next 5 years not to be shit like what Richmond are enduring now, all right? So swings and roundabouts. Do you want to win flags? Like in my lifetime, Collingwood haven't won too many. I'm 65.
Do you think that there's a way where it's possible to do both, or do you just think through the history of it, it's just not possible?
I don't think it's possible. I think the draft picks. I think the way they've changed it, it's different from when I was a kid, and you could just go and get players, recruit them from anywhere, go into state, grab a player, sign him up. It was great. Carlton and Collingwood were dominant. Carlton and Richmond were winning everything because they just stole everyone's players. And then North did it in the late 70s. They just took everyone else's players and they won flags. But, now now they changed all the rules and it's a draft and it's trying to create an even environment. And now they've got academies for the clubs in the state especially. And it's brought them back into calculation because no one wanted to go to those interstate clubs. And now all of a sudden they've got academies and everyone's bitching that their academies are good. And it's funny to watch, actually. But it's just like swings and roundabouts. But, you've got to, I think it's all about the draft and it's all about the selections you make. And you look at someone like Essendon that want concessions now, but Tadora was an abomination at the draft table. Like, fucking hell. Kako.
Yeah,
Like,
I know. Huh? Yeah.
like, fuck! Every time I look at him, I go, "Oh my god, he's not Nick Watson, is he?" Like I just look and I go, "What are you thinking?" Like small forwards, you get them at pick 85. Like fucking hell. Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
the Bombers. Gotta love the gift.
Good evening. Yeah. Good evening, Benny Zero. He's just joined us in the chat. He's probably just put the kids to bed and he's sitting back and he's tuned in. He's asking, how's the vibe on this fucking selection? It is what it is, Benny, mate. 5 changes, all forced. And we're going into this game with a bunch of kids. And, yeah, man, we'll see how we go. Thanks for joining us, buddy.
I just wanted to add, just on Geelong. I'm far from a Geelong fan of any description, so it pains me to say this. But if they're up there most years, I think that to contextualize it, some years you can tell they're just making up the numbers. Other years they're in winnable positions where they choke in a prelim. So you could sort of argue that it flipped on a dime whether they could have actually, won a couple more in that time. It wasn't like, I know there's a difference if they're just finishing top 6 and then getting blown out in the first final, but they've sort of had a fair amount of seasons along the way where they've just gone down by a kick in a prelim.
What's your point?
Yeah. The point is they're not like just staying barely relevant. They're pretty much in winnable positions in, I'd say, maybe 7 out of 10 of their seasons.
So when they don't win, they become barely relevant. Isn't that fair? Isn't that fair? I reckon. Like, you either win or
to
you
a
don't.
point, because in terms of the industry itself, I feel like you're not, like, you only become relevant by winning flags.
100%.
So it doesn't matter if you're 4th or you're 18th.
It doesn't matter if you right.
Yeah.
You win or you fuck off. Right. It's pretty simple. I just reckon that Geelong are there, and they're never really a chance. Never ever, unless someone falls over. Right. It's interesting. Yeah, it's just like, for me, they're cats by name, cats by nature. Sorry, can't have them.
Sorry, Lucas. It's just the way it is, mate.
That's coming from a Tiger supporter. Like, we can't win anything.
Yeah, it's actually kind of funny because I reckon Lucas would actually agree with you. It's it's the other supporters you've got to worry about. Yeah.
I guess it sort of depends. Like, having the conversation in hindsight's different. Like, when you're a live chance, it's a different proposition. Unless you're really not a chance and you're just strictly making the numbers, like going into it, you're not going to win.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? It's like, there's only a few live chances this year for me. Like, it's Freo, Sydney, and Brisbane, and no one else can win. Sorry.
Yeah.
Can't have anyone. Yeah. Tonight just showed it. Like, Hawthorn, nowhere near it. And I think Sydney are a bit off the other two too. So it's just about where the draw goes, and whether Freo can get Brisbane before the granny. Like, if they get them at home before it depends where it falls. You know what I mean? Like, if they get them at home before the granny, then all of a sudden everything changes, and then Freo become firm favourites because they've just got to beat Sydney and Melbourne.
Yeah.
I'd love to see Brisbane play Freo at the MCG on Grand Final day. My God, that would be a great game. Because where Freo are strong, Brisbane are weak. Like, if you're Longmuir, you're planning for him now, and you just send Voss to Andrews to fucking terrorise his ass, and then it's game on.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? I don't know. That's what I would do.
Yeah, it's an interesting one because you've got, like, because Freo's not the proven team where Brisbane are definitely proven, but
Yeah.
Because I don't know, I don't put much merit in like just being on top of the ladder. But at the same time, like I feel like from the season the Freo's had, I feel like they've had a very, very good season. They've been very solid. And then just and Brisbane's like kind of like Geelong for me in the sense where, as long as they're there, that's all that matters. Like they don't really care about like their form. Like if they lose, if they lose say round 21, like they kind of don't care because
Well,
they know and that's probably why they lost. What was it last week?
They
Because they
care.
know that because at the end of the day they know their best footy stacks up. And if they need to play whoever, and if it's a top 4 side, bottom 4 side, they know at the end of the day they've got bigger fish to fry.
Yeah.
So it's.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think with Brisbane, if they turn up to win, they win, and they know
Yeah.
they've got that ability to be able to do that. And so it's an entirely different mindset. Plus, they're third year in, right? They're going for 3 flags, and they've done every year different. And this year they're very subdued in the way they're going about it. So it'll just be about getting all their players fit on the park at the right time of the year, and then they'll just win 3 or 4 games and win the flag. That's their thinking, right? So, but if they've got to go to Freo with that crowd over there in that stadium, it might be a little bit different. They might be able to. They might think they're going to turn up and win and not be quite good enough to win. Freo are pretty good. They're pretty good, and they play that ground really well. So the fact that they might only have to go to the MCG once to win a flag, that's appealing for them. Like they're 3 games clear, for Christ's sake. But it's incredible season they've had.
Yeah. In terms of in terms of Brisbane, let's just say hypothetically that they win the flag this year. Where would you put that team amongst all the teams that have won like multiple flags in a row? So you got the Brisbane team of 01, 2 and 3.
Yep.
You've got the Geelong from 07 to 11. You've got Hawthorn from whatever 13 to 15, and then you've also got Richmond from 17 to 20. Where do you rate this Brisbane team at?
So Richmond can take a back seat probably with this Brisbane team. The Brisbane team of 2001, 2, 3. Look, that's the best team I've seen. They were absolutely awesome. The Geelong team was pretty good. Hawthorn team was pretty good. But Richmond and this team, Brisbane team, are behind them. That Brisbane team of the early 2000s, that's as good as I've seen in 60 years. They were awesome. Like they had 3 or 4 guys playing in the back line that could go through the midfield. They had like 15 guys that could play midfield. Like they just were awesome. Like had so much talent everywhere. Like 3 tall forwards in Lynch, Brown, and Bradshaw that were just all good enough to stand in the goal square. Like, it was a pretty star-studded lineup, and they had, had so much talent around the ball. Lappin, Power, Voss, Black.
They had a whole midfield of Brownlow medalists, mate.
Yeah, it was deep.
And we nearly got him, mate. We nearly got him with a team of battlers, mate.
Yeah, you nearly did. You had Rupert Patheris in your team. And it was incredible. 2000. Was that 2002? I think.
2 and 3.
Yeah. 2 and 3. You got smashed. 2 and 2.
Yeah.
2 and 3.
2 was close. 3 was the blowout.
Yeah, but like you were stiff, Collingwood, because you just come up against a really good team and the best year. Like you were second best for a couple of years. It was. It was just the way it goes. But you've been second best like 25 times, I think. So it's been a bit stiff, Price.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you like so in terms of that? Do you look at that as like a good thing or a bad thing? Because I think it's like 28 grand finals we've lost. Do you look at that as a good thing, or do you look at it being like, damn, like we've lost like so many times? It's,
as a myself, I coached 5 flags, won them all. I don't like losing flags. Having said that, this is the best competition in the country. If you get in it, like Tommy used to always say, if you get in it, you're a chance to win it, right? And that's true. But you just, like, it's just something about Collingwood, you tend to lose more than you win. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, sometimes
we consistently make grand finals with battler teams, and that's what it is, man. We did it in the 70s.
You are in overachieving, all right?
Yeah.
You limp into a grand final. Like I remember 1980. I went to the 1980 grand final. I was 19, and I took a bottle of champagne and some chicken. Going, I think I'm going to grab champagne at the 20-minute mark of the first quarter, but it was like the 10-minute mark of the second quarter when Bartlett stepped around Magro and kicked that goal, and I've gone, yeah, this is over. I'll pop the cork now and fucking have my chicken and champagne. And I'm thinking to myself, these guys shouldn't have even been here. But they limp in every time and put their head on the chopping block to get it cut off. You know what I mean? Like it's sometimes those flags sometimes Collingwood just overachieve, you know, like they were like the collie wobbles and all that, the brunt of a lot of jokes, but right now it's seriously, it's the swan wobbles right now. The Swan's getting a granny. You want to play them, don't you? You just want to play Sydney and a granny.
Oh, yeah.
Especially
I don't trust, even this year, mate, I don't trust Freo in a granny. At the MCG in front of 100,000, I don't trust Freo if they're up against a Brisbane or a.
I trust Freo against Sydney.
Yeah.
If Freo get in, they'd want to play Sydney, wouldn't they? Like Sydney don't win. They don't win. They just roll over now.
Yeah.
They just don't win. Like Heaney doesn't turn up on grand final day. Like I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah.
So it's funny. It's a funny thing, footy. It's a mindset. It's a game played above the shoulders in a lot of times. You know, like it's just But Sydney's got a good team around the footy, but like the defence is ordinary outside the run and halfback. And you know, like their forward line's just okay. They got Curnow, but so I don't think they can win. Like there's only so much their midfield can do. You know what I mean? Like, What did you think about last night's win? Hang on, before I get to that, I've got
North beating Bulldogs. Okay, go, mate. Yep.
Before that, so we're all talking footy here. What do we think about the free? I don't know if you've spoken about this before I got on. What do you think about the free pass that Geelong's been given on this concussion thing?
I think it's I just think it's a joke all around.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, because I haven't really investigated this. Is this what happened? Yeah. So, Kolodjasny has got concussion. Has got a concussion history. He wants to play. Geelong has said to him, "Look, mate, we don't like your concussion history. If you want to play on, you sign this form because we don't want to be fucking responsible for it." Is that what happened?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. I don't look just on that. I don't know the full details of it, but just on that information, I don't really blame Geelong. It's like, listen, mate, you know, we don't think you're okay with this concussion stuff. We like you as a player, but you know, we don't want to be responsible. We're telling you, you know, it's dangerous for you, but you want to keep playing on. Look, it's a.
They're not
I know
allowed
it's a.
to do that though, Mick. They've got to run it by the AFL before they.
Okay.
The problem is
fair
they
enough.
did it. Even his manager didn't know that they had this waiver.
Yeah.
It was
So here's my question, right? So my question is, if Kolodjasny gets a concussion mid-game and says, "No, I'm okay," is that okay? Can he go back on?
It shouldn't be, but if you're going to have a legal document to say that I'm all good, if I'm concussed and affected by it, you've essentially signed a contract to where it's because at the end of the day, it's definitely going to be a bad thing. Clubs are going to take advantage of it if you let them. I just think it's a bad precedent because, I feel like at the end of the day, we should be looking after these players rather than just throwing them to the wolves in these situations. Because
When I read this, I started laughing because if you are a level 1 coach now coaching under 13 kids, you have to sign a duty of care to protect your players.
Yes. Yeah.
How the fuck is this protecting your player? He's had multiple concussions. He shouldn't be playing, but because he's prepared to sign a waiver saying all responsibility is taken off the club, we're going to let him play. What about the duty of care to the player? For fuck's sake about his decision-making process, what about the duty of care for you to be responsible for him as an employee? I cannot believe that this shit is just getting swept under the table like all the other shit. Tell me something. What happened to the last club that let players sign waivers? I can tell you. It's fucking Essendon.
Yeah, I was about to say it's probably the drug
Yeah.
side.
Oh, yeah.
It's the same type of shit, right? We're not protecting the player anymore, right? And they're getting away with it. What is going on at Geelong and the AFL? I don't understand. There should be, like, the AFL should be jumping all over it. They jump all over everything that they decide to jump over. They jump all over drug takers. They jump all over everything else. Jump all over this. Like, demand more from the AFL. For fuck's sake. Like, this is...
And what about the fact that
AFL
Geelong,
needs an explanation,
the
right?
incumbent, is investigating himself? He was at he's now gone between Geelong and the AFL because he was at Geelong at the time. Now he's at the AFL. Basically,
talking about
And
Simon
it's a
Callagher.
former Geelong player that's making these choices.
Hang on.
man.
Who are you talking
Sorry,
about?
a former Geelong. He was in the Geelong building. I don't know
Hang
what
on.
role he had at Geelong, but yeah,
Hang on. Who are you talking about now?
the person that's like the person that was going to okay this at like AFL House.
Who is it? Sorry, who are we talking about?
So
He
there was
was-
I'm
he was at
struggling to
Geelong,
remember who it was, but there was someone that
Hang
was.
on, I'll tell you one thing. There's a guy that I used to coach, right? And he was working with me at Carlton, and he was the chief financial officer. His name's Simon Callagher. And then he got a job with Geelong, and he was the chief financial officer at Geelong, and he was called Simon Callagher. And then he got a job at the AFL, and his job was to investigate Geelong on salary cap breaches, where he was the chief financial officer and he knew where all the salary cap breaches were. Can you believe this shit? It's fucking unbelievable, right? So he's investigating himself in theory. Now, right now, Simon Callagher is still at the AFL and he would know all about this shit, right? Because he was at Geelong in 2024 when they did the deal with Kolajasny, right? So it's one hand washing the other hand. It's insane. Now, I love Simon. He's a great guy. Coached him in 2 flags. He's a ripper. But, like, right now, this is a absolute shit show.
Yeah.
Because you got one
I thought
guy
it was
investigating
pretty tepid.
himself.
It was pretty tepid how within 24 hours they made a joint statement. Now, if they want to go down the road of allowing players to sign waivers, that's a different story. As it currently stands, they're not allowed to. You know, and the fact that they did that, and the fact that the AFL want it to go away really fast, and that none of the journos or anybody else is quite letting it go as fast as they want them to.
I also found it interesting. Like even Corns was actually like in favor of it. Like I thought that was fucking scary as all hell. The fact that he was like, oh, but he signed it, so so then what's actually the big deal? It's like,
Well,
it's like
you've
if
got to
these players
understand-
are going to be signing it, like
Yeah,
like
but
these
you've got to
players
get
aren't
your
going
head
to
in the
look after
nuance.
their own
Guys.
welfare.
Guys, you've got to get your head in the game, right? There's journos out there that are getting a serious income off the back of being AFL journos, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me for 1 second that the AFL doesn't whisper in the ear and say, we can have your AFL journalist license
Oh, yeah.
removed in seconds.
Yeah.
Oh,
So they
yeah.
take Right. There is no greater AFL ambassador than Jack Riewoldt. He embarrasses me as a Richmond supporter every time he opens his fucking mouth because he's all AFL. The only guy that's got any fucking integrity at all is Jimmy Bartel. He doesn't care. He just says it as it is. The other day I was watching him talk about the draw and how our draw is the worst thing in any sport in the world. He's talking about it. And I'm going, Jack Riewoldt wouldn't have the balls to say that. There's so many of them that they come out in the first couple of years and they're so scared they want to keep their job and keep their income that they're too scared to say anything. You know what I mean? So Jimmy's been around a while. I don't care. He doesn't care. He says it exactly what it is. He went to town on the draw like no one I've ever seen, and I loved it. He was just he smashed the draw. He said, this is the worst draw in any sport in the world. And he went on and gave 20 examples of it.
Yeah. What's funny to me is Geelong don't even get a fine. Meanwhile, Ken Hinkley gets a fine for making an airplane.
I saw that too. I saw that.
Yeah.
But the least they could have done was take away the win from last week. Fuck it up.
You know what?
They could have reversed the result.
You know what's the worst part about it is? The worst part about it is, and Bergs might jump in here and be like, "Oh no, you Collingwood dickhead." If that was us that did that and that came out in the media, you reckon it'll be swept under the rug in 24 hours?
No.
Please, mate.
I won't come out and say that. I honestly think that the only team that probably could have been swept under the rug is Geelong. I don't know why they're getting a free run. They're getting a free run with player contracts. They're getting a free run with coaches' contracts. They're getting a free run with anything. I'm not quite sure what it's about. It's just insane. Everyone watching the AFL knows that Geelong are a protected species. It's quite bizarre.
Isn't there a lot of Geelong people though? Isn't there a lot of Geelong people just in the AFL industry as a whole though?
Yeah,
Geelong supporters and all that stuff. Would it
they
be
go
that?
back and forth between club and it's a revolving door between the AFL and Geelong. They go either from the AFL to Geelong or from Geelong to the AFL.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Geelong and Hawthorn. Geelong and Hawthorn are the two clubs.
Is it the Geelong Grammar cliquey?
I think so. I think so. It's just that main feeder. Geelong of recent times, Hawthorn of history, where those are the clubs where it's the prestigious schools, more or less, the high achievers, the politicians, you name it. They're the ones. They're the two clubs that have that aura about them, and all the individuals involved at the high level are either Hawthorn or Geelong connected in some form or another, and that's just the reality. So once this came out, like I said, if it was Collingwood, Carlton, Essendon, it's a completely different story. Let's be honest here.
Is it a coincidence that Danger steps down as the AFLPA around the time this happened?
You never know. You never know, mate. We're getting into conspiracy territory here.
No, it was about 2 years ago. This happened about, 2024. That was around the time he stepped down as president. Because it violates the AFLPA bargaining agreement, right? So
yeah,
that's interesting to me that the face of the AFLPA at that club at that time, because I know that otherwise he's a fraud basically,
Yeah. Yep. Interesting.
Yeah,
Interesting, right?
Look, it's interesting what's happened with AFL over the last 10 years. Like they've taken away their number one draft pool in the TSC Cup. You've got all these elitist people running it now. This has happened after Demetrio. You've got Gill, and you've got this Tony Dillon, and they're all like absolute complete private school wankers. And so what they've done, they've taken away the TAC Cup status and they've given it to private schools. Now, when I was involved in TAC Cup, the TAC Cup was where all the kids got drafted from, elite program, elite coaches. It was a great system. And then we had kids in our program that were private schoolers that would have to play like 3 or 4 games in their private school competition and then come back to TAC Cup. And now they've just made it all about private schools. And so the TAC Cup gets robbed for the ability to teach these kids. They go into their private school where they're playing most of their games of footy and they don't have the level of coaching. There might be a couple of clubs that have got good coaches, but at the end of the day, the majority of great development coaches are at TAC Cup level. And so they get the kids back. So we're seeing kids that, you know, aren't as well educated come into the system. And yet all I read is, Melbourne Grammar or Caulfield Grammar is the football factory now. Are you fucking kidding? Like, what happens is those kids are in a TAC Cup environment from 15 to 17, and then we see which ones are good, and we offer them a free scholarship to go to Caulfield Grammar, and then all of a sudden we grab them at Caulfield Grammar, win a flag, and tell everyone about our footy program and how we got 4 kids drafted. You got no kids drafted. They were developed at TAC Cup level. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a basket case of a competition now. What they're doing to their own draft pool is an abomination, all because of elitist wankers like Gil McLaughlin and Andrew Dillon. Like, they've changed the whole scenario. And the other thing they've done that you guys mightn't know is we had some wonderful coaches at TAC Cup level, guys like Boris Buick that played at Essendon. There were so many of them, right? These coaches that were teachers in the day getting 120 a year and a TAC Cup coach getting 40 a year for TAC Cup coaching in the afternoon. And then they took that all away and they said, no, you've got to be a full-time employee. So now you get $90,000 coaches. Can you imagine what they're like? They work full-time for 90. Can you imagine the quality of that person, right? I can just tell you, it's not in the ballpark. Like, you've got a girl called, and I was mentoring her and I love her. Lauren Moorcroft is running the Eastern Rangers and she's the under-18 coach for Vic Metro. Now, she's coaching the boys that get drafted at Eastern Rangers. And they do get like 4 or 5 drafted most years. And coaching the girls is Scott Gowans, who has been in a TAC Cup system, who coached at Carlton, Collingwood, was the head coach of North AFLW and the head coach of Sydney AFLW, drafted their whole team and got him going for 3 years. And he is playing second fiddle to a girl who could not do up his boots. And she's shaping the draft picks for the next few years. You got to be shitting me. Like, they've got this so wrong. It's unbelievably broken, this system. Like, it's horrendous. Like,
you know, when Gillan McLaughlin got the job a few years ago, from what I recall, Benny Gale was going for it as well, but he was on the outs with the AFL because he was like not in that circle.
He was always antagonising for Richmond on Richmond's behalf.
Yeah. Oh, and a lot of people, like from what I've heard, is just say that he's the best. He's one of the best operators going around, and but Gillan McLaughlin got it, and that's all she wrote. Yeah.
They asked him if he'd want to do the 2OC, and he goes, "Fuck off." Like Benny should have done that job. Like that, the AFL would be in way better shape if Benny Gale had been running it. I got no doubt in my mind. Yeah, no doubt.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
it's just crazy. We've got this one wanker after another. Like,
especially when they did that whole let's go and search for a new head of AFL. Oh yeah, no, we're just gonna go to the cubicle next door. And we're gonna hire that guy.
Yeah, and Dylan.
but then in the process, we're gonna fucking go do all these like holiday trips, and we're gonna travel the world and all that stuff to find the next person to take the job.
Yeah, it's
God.
I like how they landed on a guy who was just the most milk toast one of the lot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
he was
think
sitting
this-
across the table from him as well.
Yeah.
They did a worldwide search and they hired the bloke that was fucking in the office next door.
Yeah.
Fuck
Yeah.
me.
Crazy. Like, and they think the footy public's stupid. You just look and you go, what the fuck are you doing? The worst was when Gill had a couple of indiscretions at the AFL headquarters, and one of the other guys did too. So they sacked him, blamed, what's his name? He ended up at St Kilda.
Lethlean.
Yeah. Simon Lethlean, like, had an affair while he was married. He had like 3 daughters, and he had an affair, and he had this affair at the AFL, and so he fell on his sword because there was pressure going on Gill, because Gill'd been having an affair in there as well. But they sacked Simon. Oh, this is gold. This is gold.
Just quietly, where do you get this on other podcasts? Where do you get this sort of stuff, mate? Mate, this is gold.
Allegedly.
Now, I can tell you now, I'm going on record. There is no allegedly about it. So Simon has fallen on his sword for Gill, and he's got this massive payout, and he's out of work, and they've just told him, don't worry, mate, there'll be a job comes up within the next 12 months, we'll put you in it. Then all of a sudden, I was at Carlton then, and our CEO got the arse. What was his fucking name? He come from Adelaide. Can't think of his name. He was there in the...
It wasn't the dude that shared the dick pic, right?
No. This is way before that. The CEO was a guy who come from Adelaide, and he was involved in the whole controversy over paying, what was his name? The tall guy that come from Sydney that was a rough.
Kane Little, was it? Was it Kane Little?
No, before Kane Little. Kane Little took this guy's job, right? So he come from Adelaide, this guy.
Oh, Trigg.
Stephen Trigg. Lovely guy, Triggy. But so Triggy gets the arse, and Triggy had been instrumental in changing the whole Carlton infrastructure. In, like, when I got there, they had like 80 male employees and 70 female employees. When Triggy got there, they had 130 male employees and 20 female employees. So Triggy changed it all up, and equal jobs for women and all this bullshit. And then all of a sudden, they're all the women are happy and everything. And then when Triggy got the arse, right, this is at the same time that Lethlean's got the arse from the AFL, and they're all shitting themselves at Carlton that he's going to get placed there. They're going to put Lethlean into this job, and they're all going up in arms about how Lethlean's going to come. Oh, no, it's going to go back to the dinosaur age and blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden, Kane Little got the job, and it was hilarious because, like, they're all thinking, oh, we're going back to the dark ages, and, you know, all the women were shitting themselves. They're going to get the arse. Oh, it's so funny. Like, seriously, best people gets the job. Well, I don't get it. Like, why do we have to have 150 people and 50% of each? Like, I don't get it. Best people get the job, surely.
Yeah. And Killen McLaughlin, where is he now? Fucking Tabcorp, mate. Fucking.
Gill.
Yeah. Look, gentlemen. On that note, I'm going to finish it up because I promised Lucas I'd finish earlier, but we just kept going, and he's been waiting for me to finish up. Lucas from the Geelong zone, he's going to do a late night stream, and what usually happens is he does his stream, and we turn it into a Collingwood themed stream. Everyone jumps on there, get him a bit of his own medicine. But I'll tell you what, he was on here earlier. He didn't mention Geelong once. I had the timer on to see, you know, as soon as he starts talking about Geelong, but he didn't get a chance to. But
and we say it's not intentional to turn into a Collingwood show, but it's intentional.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, there's a theme by Army Chronicles, it says, doesn't it?
Yeah. Now tomorrow, I'll be doing a watch along for the VFL game against Essendon. It's at Windy Hill, and I'll be doing it with Greatness. You're going to join me at 12:00 noon.
Yes, yeah.
yeah.
No, someone was saying it was going to be Sunday, and I kind of got a bit scared there because I wouldn't have been able to make it if it was Sunday at 12:00. So we got that clarified, thankfully, and I'll be all good.
Yeah, I was starting the stream at about 11:30. We'll banter on for about half an hour, and then we'll get things running, and we'll do that. And then after that, the game's on Sunday. After the game, after Pies Footy does his after match, I think Into the Woods, are they also doing a thing tomorrow, Adrian? Probably at the same time, maybe. So after
it's like 6-7 o'clock.
Yeah.
No, it'd be after the game. It'd be 7 o'clock. Maybe?
Yeah. So
whatever happens, whatever happens after those guys are all finished, I'll do it on my own fan cams after that. Probably about 9-ish, I reckon, depending on when they finish, and we'll just take it from there. Thank you, all panelists, for joining me on this very eventful. And also, sorry, I forgot to mention, the Warble will also be doing a countdown to the first ruck before the game, so join him there before the game.
Wall-to-wall prize action.
That's it, mate. Including Lucas in 10 minutes, mate. More prize action on the Geelong zone. He's just indicated. He's going to be starting in about 10 minutes, yeah? All good. Thank you, panelists, for joining me. Thank you, chat, for this wonderful, eventful show we've had. It's been spicy in the chat, but that's all good. It hasn't been too nasty. That's how I like it to be, mate. We have our opinions, but no name-calling, no, bullying or bullshit like that. We just have our say, and everyone's got different opinions, and it's all good, mate, I've got a different opinion to Shawnee. I've got a different opinion to Bergs, but we're not going to fucking, call each other names and shit like that. It's just, it's childish.
If we all had the same opinion, the world would be a very boring place.
Oh, yeah.
Here.
Yep. That's it. Yeah. So thanks a lot, guys. Lucas at the Geelong Zone is going to be starting a stream in about 10 minutes. I will catch us tomorrow at about 11:30-ish. Thanks, everyone. And Carla Pies. No worries, Bergs. Anytime, mate. Thank you.
Carla Pies.
Catch you later. Carla Pies. Catch us later.
Go Pies.